business in the state, which has reflected in growing number of industries coming to the state in various sectors. The state has attracted a record number of investment in various sectors, and mining sector has been one of the major attraction of the investment community. As part of the ease of doing business, the ITS online system initiated by the state government has attracted a lot of attraction throughout the country and help in providing GPS tracking system. It has helped the detecting unlawful mineral extraction or transportation. The mining industry as a whole have given their cooperation and active support to these initiatives. Odisha is one of the leading states in the country to have conducted successful auction of mineral blocks and operation of the same, for which the state of Odisha received the Rashtriya Khanijo Vikas Puruskar first prize for the best performing state in taking initiative of exploration, auction and operation of mines. By this auction process, human interest has been limited and transparency has been brought. It has helped immensely in ease of doing business. Timely auction has been the key feature of our government led by Honorable Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik ji. Under the leadership, the state has seen robust growth of the economy, which is the higher than the national average. I wish the conference all success. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for your video message. Ladies and gentlemen, we are also very honored to have the distinguished presence of Shri A.T. Mishra, IFS Deputy Director General Forest, Regional Office, Ministry for Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Bhubaneswar. We also have the esteemed presence of Shri Sumit Deb, CMD NMDC Limited. We also have amongst us Shri Kalyan Mohanty, Executive Director, Industrial Promotion and Investment Corporation of Odisha Limited. Also, Shri D.B. Sundara Raman, Vice President, Raw Material, Tata Steel Limited. We are also very honored to have amongst us Mr. Sabyasachi Mohanty, Director Operations, OMC Limited. And may I request all our distinguished dignitaries to kindly light the ceremonial lamp, and I would request Ms. Monica Bachchan to kindly escort them. Ladies and gentlemen, as per our traditions, we'll have the lighting of our traditional auspicious ceremonial lamp. With this, we also invoke blessings from Ma Saraswati and pray for the success of our conference today.
श्वेत पद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युत शंकर प्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती
Kindly grace the dais. Ladies and gentlemen, as we are aware, Virbhar Bharat and major emphasis on development of infrastructure across the country, the need of the hour is to rationalize the requirement for developing mineral reserve in the country, and particularly minerals like iron, coal, bauxite, lime, copper, manganese, chromium, etc., which are the backbone of economic development. There is an urgent need to transform the true mineral potential of the country in a sustainable manner by taking all the stakeholders into confidence so that an Atmanirbharta can be achieved across all sectors. Hence, today's conference will provide useful insights about key growth drivers, issues, challenges and opportunities in the mining and iron and steel sector. A very warm welcome to all of you once again. And I would now request Ms. Monica Bachchan to kindly extend our personal welcome to all our dignitaries on the dais. Our guest of honor, Shri A.T. Mishra, IFS, Deputy Director General Forests, Regional Office, Ministry for Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Bhubaneswar. A very warm welcome to you, sir. We also invite our keynote speaker, Shri Sumit Deb, CMD, NMDC Limited. A very warm welcome and thank you for joining us today. Shri Kalyan Mohanty, Executive Director, Industrial Promotion and Investment Corporation of Odisha Limited. Thank you for joining us today. Mr. D.B. Sundararaman, Vice President, Raw Material, Tata Steel Limited. A very warm welcome to you as well. And Mr. Sabyasachi Mohanty, Director Operations, OMC Limited. A very warm welcome to you as well. Thank you, Monica. Ladies and gentlemen, today's conference is also a testimony to the power of Metrologic platform, where we have managed to draw great brains and market leaders under one roof and on one dais. And all thanks to the out-of-box and untiring efforts of the most amazing Ms. Monica Bachchan, whose passion for topics that are the most relevant for today's time are well known and well appreciated. So thank you, Monica, for being so courageous to always bringing the most challenging topics in the forefront. And thank you all of you for coming out in such a big number today and for encouraging us. We are also live streaming right now on YouTube on the Metrologic PMS channel. Ladies and gentlemen, as we all are aware, that Metrologic PMS is a startup launched in 2017 with a mission to provide Metrologic or decision-making logical support to the Indian and international steel and mining industry. And last month itself, Metrologic successfully completed its 6 years. Let's put a big round of applause for Metrologic's success so far. Thank you. Metrologic is well known for many firsts, apart from specializing in corporate event management, in which it provides A to Z service. Metrologic PMS is also industry's early morning news provider, covering areas like steel, mining, automobile, cement, and infrastructure. It also brings a collection of basic prices of commodities and an update on congestion at major Indian ports every morning, and in the near future, Metrologic PMS will also be introducing a wide range of project management services. With these words, I now invite the founder, the passionate and the enterprising Ms. Monica Bachchan for welcome address, please. Welcome.
Thank you, Saroj. I would like to welcome Shri A.T. Mishra, IFS Deputy Director General Forest, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Bhubaneswar. My warm welcome to Shri Sumit Deb, Chairman, Managing Director, NMDC Limited, Shri Kalyan Mohanty, Executive Director, Industrial Promotion and Investment Corporation of Odisha Limited, and Mr. D.B. Sundararaman, Vice President, Raw Material, Tata Steel Limited, and Mr. Sabyasachi Mohanty, Director Operations, Odisha Mining Corporation Limited. Namaskar, Suprabhat Odisha, the land of God, rich heritage and enthralling view, wishing you a very pleasant morning. I am Monica Bachchan, founder and CEO of Metrologic Projects Management Services, and it is my privilege and pleasure to welcome you all to this beautiful mining conference on ease of doing business in mining in India, powered by NMDC Limited at Bhubaneswar, Odisha. Today is the golden moment for all of us who have gathered here, people from different walks of life, miners, investors, steel manufacturers, pellet and sponge iron makers, policy makers, logistic providers, mining equipment and technology suppliers, senior speakers, delegates, participants, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen, to discuss ease of doing business in mining. India ranked among the top 5 mineral producing countries in the world, and these figures are achieved when the industry has most of its potential lying untapped. So we haven't yet exploded too much. Still we are ranking 5th, which gives us and our future generation a scope to explore more to achieve maximum potential of mineral processing. Today, the conference will focus on ease of doing business in mining in India from various angles, from the angle of regulatory issues, forest clearances, taxes, royalties, freight, tribal concerns, availability of basic needs like water, electricity, railway siding, linkages, etc. Today, we will also have a stage show presented by Tata Steel Limited and Tata Steel Mining on women, transgenders and specially abled in core mining activities. For the first time in any mining conference in India, we will have girls' participation in a huge number. All thanks to Tata Steel Mining and Tata Steel Limited. And of course, Odisha Mining Corporation as well. Thanking Mr. Sabyasachi Mohanty for taking this initiative of inviting the ladies from their mining areas and lending their support. I do not want to call it a cause because it is a fundamental right of every deserving individual, irrespective of their caste, creed, gender, to get an equal and deserving opportunity to work in a healthy work environment. We are honored to have Shri A.T. Mishra IFS, Deputy Director General MOEF and Climate Change, Bhubaneswar, with us today. Shri Mishra has written a book, Birds of Jharkhand. He has awarded with Best All-Around Forester and Sulochana Naidu Trophy by IGNFA. I would like to suggest you all to follow the Instagram of Shri A.T. Mishra. It is by the name of Wings of Jharkhand. Honorable Steel and Mine Minister Shri Prafulla Malik ji is not able to join us because of the assembly session which is starting from today only, and he's there. He was very keen to attend the conference, and when I told him about the participation of women and transgenders in this conference, he was extremely excited. But then he has expressed his good wishes, and of course he would like to get the proceedings and the report after this conference. After the conference of Metallurgic PMS, will create a report of recommendations to share it with the various concerned departments. As I request to all of you to please participate with full attention and share your valuable suggestions which we can include in our report after the conference for the betterment of industry, of course. I would like to welcome our sponsors, NMDC Limited, Shri Jagannath Steel and Power Limited, Siddhi Instrumentation Private Limited, Fomento Resources, MSPL Baldota Group, TVQ Coke Oven, Janki Corp Limited, Iron and Steel Review Magazine, Odisha Mining Corporation and Mineral Exploration Corporation Limited. Our exhibitors, Liberty Shipping, BSLC and Dev Energy, our support associations and knowledge partners. My special thanks to Government of Odisha, Tata Steel Mining, Tata Steel Limited and OMC Limited for lending us local support and helping us to organize this conference. With this, I would like to end my speech with a small poem, अफसर की प्रतीक्षा में मत बैठो, आज का अवसर ही सर्वोत्तम है. जय हिंद and thank you.
Thank you, Monica, for the warm welcome address, and very rightly said, we need to seize all the opportunities that come our way. Ladies and gentlemen, with this, I invite now Shri Sumit Dev, CMD NMDC Limited, for his keynote address.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Sri Mishra, Deputy Director General Forest, MOFCC, Sri Sabyasachi Mahanti, Director Operations, OMC, DB Sundaraman, Vice President Raw Materials, Tata Steel, Mr. Kalyan Mahanti, Executive Director, EPICOL. Ladies and gentlemen, in spite of my very tight schedule, I couldn't say no to Monica for this session. In fact, yesterday we listed a company on the Bombay Stock Exchange. That's the NMDC Steel Limited. It was a real big achievement for us. It's sort of, and as soon as we launched the trading, it hit the upper circuit. So it was really a great inspiration for us, and one very big achievement in terms of as a company. Now, if you look at the scenario here, India is the fastest growing major economy of the world and also the sixth largest GDP. Currently, the nominal GDP of India in FY22 is around USD 3.18 trillion, and IMF has predicted the growth to be 6%, around 6% in FY23. India's rank in ease of doing business, like Monica calls it, EDB, according to the World Bank report, has consistently improved from 142nd to 90th to 63rd in 2022. But then, ideally speaking, I think we should land up somewhere in the next less than 50 in the next couple of years. Now here, I mean, we are looking EDB or the ease of doing business in terms of the mining sector. I mean, if you look at the mining sector, now here the role of the state governments, the forest department, like it has been mentioned here, Mr. Mishra is there representing the forest, or the miners per se. I mean, we play a very big role. The last few years have seen a string of initiatives such as Gati Shakti, Bharatmala, National Infrastructure Pipeline, to reduce logistics cost, and amendments in the regulatory framework by the government to infuse a higher degree of competitiveness and to promote the sector. However, the cumulative growth of the sector depends on further strengthening and scoping by addressing various key issues such as One Bharat, One Tariff for electricity, single window clearance system, and many others. This would bring structural reforms in the existing policy, such as preferential. There are also things like preferential block allocations, resolve double royalty issues, competitive bidding, etc., etc. In the recent years, all of you have been seeing, we have all witnessed, the sector has witnessed premiums beyond 100%, creating, I would say, an unfavorable scenario, probably favorable to some, unfavorable to others. But then there are smaller entities, iron ore miners without downstream facilities. I mean, if you look at this whole scenario, which is the sector's holistic development may be challenged without considering the sustainability of these entities and merchant iron ore miners. Any market attracts greater participation when it is incentivized. However, the tax rates in the Indian mining sector have been a deterrent for participation from global players. The effective tax rate in India stands at around 150% in case of auction mines, against the global benchmark which stands at below 40%. Issues like double royalty, higher premiums, etc. need to be addressed to enhance the ease of doing business in the mining sector. Further, the capping of maximum area limitation in the MMDR Act 1957 restricts economics of the mining companies and reduces their profitability, impacting the deployment of state-of-the-art modern technologies. Further, reduced economic feasibility as a result of maximum area limit would reduce the attractiveness of the sector by foreign investments. Moreover, there is a little incentive for any organizations to enter into exploration. Since there have not been any references or in the allotment process for as an incentive for exploration. Also, there are financing challenges for the exploration companies, as the process has very low probability of success. Only 1 in 100 or 200 blocks in which exploration is done appears as a viable mineral block. These factors have led to limited investments in the exploration sector. If India is to achieve the vision of becoming a developed economy over the next 25 years, the mining industry would have to play a very critical role in it. India is endowed with vast mineral resources and has the potential to contribute to the growth of the economy. Through this forum, I urge all the stakeholders to come together to push India to a higher trajectory on a global level and become one of the 3 economies in the world during the next 25 years of Amrit Kal. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you, Shri Sumit Dev, CMD and MDC, for your address. Ladies and gentlemen, as Mr. Dev also said, India is a resource-rich country blessed with large numbers of minerals, and thus the mining and metal sector is playing the important role in the overall development of the country. And Odisha is like a crown jewel in this treasure. With these words, I would now like to invite Mr. Sabyasachi Mohanty, Director Operations, OMC Limited, for his address, please.
Good morning. Respected all the dignitaries and the ladies and gentlemen and all the participants here. First of all, it gives a immense pleasure to me for attending this conference, Ease of Doing Business in Mining. See, mining is basically a basic industry which gives the food for everything, be it a steel, which is your basic need of your life, be it a infrastructures which is required for your for day-to-day life. So now coming to the economy of India, India is the 5th largest economy and it has got the all potential to become the 2nd largest economy by 2050. So we need to take a call. We need to take a call for development of some crucial sectors like manufacturing, metal sectors, mining, infrastructures like your road, rail, shipping. These are the sectors where we need a growth, faster growth to become the 2nd largest economy, which has been predicted by 2050. In this way, Government of India has already formulated 2017 the National Steel Policy. Thereafter, now there is one more policy which is basically the National Non-Ferrous Metal Recycling Policy, Scrap Recycling Policy. This is just to make India domestically self-sufficient for the metal industries. Now, let's come to the Eastern India. Eastern India is basically bestowed with all sorts of facilities for the development of the manufacturing industries. Eastern India has got most of the minerals like coal, iron ore, chromite, bauxite, everything here. And more of so it is being facilitated by major waterways. Most of the major ports, Paradip, Haldia, then Vizag, Dhamra are situated in the Eastern India only. So Eastern India can play a vital role for development of the country. If you see, for that purpose only now State Government of India along with the CII has already launched the Purvodaya Accelerated Development of Eastern Region through the Industrial Integrated Steel Hub. So it is predicted that Eastern India can contribute 75% of the incremental steel productions of the country. So if the vision is to produce 2030-31 300 million ton, Eastern India can produce 200 million ton of steel. For 200 million ton of steel, how much raw material is required, you can imagine. So there is a tremendous potential of growth for the manufacturing industry with respect to the steel. If steel is developed, there will be tremendous growth with respect to the other infrastructures, road, railway, other infrastructures, and tremendous opportunities for the employment. Now, GDP, contribution of GDP in the mine is 2.5%. It has got all potential to become the 5%. Now, coming back to the Odisha, out of Eastern India. Odisha is playing and Odisha will play a major role in development of the country. Around 50% of the iron ore production in Odisha is of the country is done in Odisha only. Now for this purpose, if you see, I'll come back to from the Odisha, I'll come back to the government of Odisha and Odisha Mining Corporation. What Odisha Mining Corporation is doing and what Odisha Mining Corporation's plan to do it. Now, purpose of the Odisha Mining Corporation is to provide the raw materials to the state-based industries and in and around the other states also. For that purpose, Odisha Mining Corporations, now they have got their own long-term policies through which they supply the material to the different party, LTL long-term linkage holders in the state as well as the outside. This corporation is under the transformational stage. During the year 2020-21, this has produced 30 million ton of mineral, which includes iron ore, chrome and bauxite. It is the 5th largest producer of iron ore in the country, and it is the largest state PSU, I'll say, for the iron ore. And this company, OMC, see, as I told you, Eastern India can contribute 200 million ton of steel productions in the country. So for 200 million ton, you require maybe more than 320 or 350 million ton of iron ore. Majority of the iron ore will come from Odisha only. For that purpose, OMC has geared up to produce 50 million ton in next 2 years, and by 2030, OMC has got a vision to produce 100 million ton of iron ore, for which we have got our own roadmap. So that the country or state, the industries which are coming up in the state will not be deprived of the shortage of the raw materials here. That roadmap has already been prepared. Now, to produce 200 million, maybe around 100 million ton is a merchant miner. You have to have your own plan for the mining technology to produce the scientific mining. You have to have a plan for your evacuation technology. You have to have a plan for your scientific mining SDF, and you have to have a plan for your environmental. Now coming one by one, for the purpose of environmental protections, OMC has got an MOU with OFDC that they will plant 1 tree per 10 ton of productions. By this, they have already planted 7 million of trees with a survival rate of 85-90%. Now, for the purpose of scientific mining, all sorts of, I'll say, the precautions has been taken for scientific mining. Now, you'll glad to know that this year, as on today, OMC is running 18 mines, in which 15 is the major mineral, 3 is the minor mineral. There, they have been awarded with 2 mines of 5-star rating yesterday. Now, as far as digital intervention is concerned, our mines are, most of the mines are having most of the things digital, at least the stockyard management. See, in mining the major part is the stockyard, evacuation. Complete evacuation system is digitally, it is done digitally. There is no intervention, manual interventions in most of our big mine. So we have introduced logistic management system, stockyard management system, safety management system, compliance management system. The USP of OMC is the SIMS. SIMS means Customer Integrated Management System. It is a merchant mine, so your main purpose is to give the material to the market. Here, through this SIMS, from the day of onboarding of the customer till the payment is made, there is no manual interference. There is not at all manual interference. Customers are online onboarded, and till that time, including the auction, including your payment, everything, including the grievance resolutions, everything is online. So there is not at all a manual interference there. So the concept of the state PSUs, that has been changed here. Now, for the purpose of evacuation for 100 million ton, we have got plan to have the mechanized evacuation system through the slurry pipeline or maybe conveyor from almost all our big mine. Now we are going to have the slurry pipeline. This is the first time any PSU will have the state PSU, I say, will allow the private investor to put their infrastructure inside the leasehold area. So in our Gannamardan area, we are going to do that for the putting the slurry pipeline by our investors. Similarly, for our other big mine, we are going for the railway project. We are going for the mechanized evacuation system. And one of our mine has got the 30 million ton EC capacity, RINL mine. It has been granted with the MOE for 30 million ton now. Of course, it is a 2-3 stages, but ultimately the capacity of the mine will be 30 million ton now. So, what I want to say, the purpose of OMC is for any mining industry is not only to produce in a systematic manner, produce in such a way so that the nearby villagers, the persons in that area are get benefit out of that. Our purpose as a mine owner should be to give the better life to the people. Whatever their standard of living now, we should increase their standard of living by doing this, because we are earning the money from there only. So money comes from that place also, so it should go back to that place. There is a say, money comes from the society, it should go back to the society. So that should be the philosophy for all of our mining industry. Now, I will conclude my speech with a small video which shows that how OMC is contributing to the nation building, how it is doing to the taking care of the people, CSR, and how it is doing the scientific mining. Can somebody play that link?
The difference between mining and sustainable mining is what really defines OMC. The corporation has always looked beyond profitability, focusing on the safety, health and happiness of its employees, the well-being of its peripheral communities, building a prosperous and stronger nation, and creating a greener and healthier planet. Back in the mid-50s, when the East Indian state of Orissa decided to harness the ultra-rich mineral deposits of the state, the Orissa Mining Corporation, or OMC, was born. After 6.5 decades today, OMC is not only one of the fastest growing, but also the largest public sector mining company in India. with iron ores, with its sound profitability, accounting for contributions worth billions of US dollars to the state exchequer. With a joint workforce of over 15,000, OMC has been making perennial efforts to minimize and mitigate the impact of its mining on the environment, by continually innovating solutions to safeguard it, investing massively during the process. As part of its policy, OMC plants at least 1 tree for every 10 tons of ore raised, resulting in over 7 million trees till date. Along with the environment, OMC also lays particular thrust on initiatives involving health, education and skilling, water and sanitation, livelihood, infrastructure, and sports and culture. This is because at OMC, we don't just believe in mining minerals, we believe in mining happiness.
Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Jagannath. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Operations OMC Limited, Mr. Sabyasachi Mohanty, for your address. Indeed, OMC, is one of the leading solution provider in the field of science and technology with over 40 years of experience, and like how rightly Mr. Mohanty said, they don't believe in mining minerals but mining happiness. With these thoughts, I would now like to invite Mr. D.B. Sundararaman, Vice President, Raw Material, Tata Steel Limited, for his address, please.
Thank you, Ms. Saros. Good morning, everybody. Dignitaries on the dais, Mr. A.T. Mishra, Mr. Kalyan Mohanty, Mr. Sumit Dev, Mr. S.S. Mohanty, and Ms. Monica Bachchan. All the dignitaries of the dais, all the participants, and dear people. There is a reason for calling people, because now, as Ms. Monica Bachchan mentioned, we have engaged transgenders in our operations. That is the reason why we also started changing our address and including them as part of our family. That's the reason we have moved out from ladies and gentlemen to dear people. So my co-speakers have spoken about both the difficulties in mining industry and ease of doing business in mining industry, and also about NMDC and OMC. Though I would definitely talk about ease of doing business, but definitely the private sector in India, in mining especially, has got some other difficulties compared to PSUs. So maybe I would like to touch upon those as well. As mentioned by Mr. Sumit Dev, yes, India is now at rank of 63 in doing business, ease of doing business. But I think when we talk about Atmanirbhar Bharat, when we talk about going to 300 million tons of steel production, I think the way the indicators are there, I don't think these indicators would suffice us to get into, may not be less than 50. I would say that if we really want to grow as a mining industry in India, I think ease of doing business should be in a single digit, less than 10. So government of India definitely has done initiated some steps. I would like to talk in 3 areas. One is how the mining industry today and what path and what are the improvements the government of India as well as the state governments have done. Still, what are the limitations? And number 3, and what is the way forward? How do we make it much easier compared to what it is today? So in 2023-24 budget, Government of India has highlighted that more than 39,000 compliances they have been reduced, and more than 3,400 legal provisions have been decriminalized. earlier they were under criminal act, they have been decriminalized. That's a good and a significant step. Given the resources we have, as my co-speaker Savisachi Mohanty mentioned, that the way entire India is enriched with iron, coal, lignite, chrome, bauxite, and almost all the minerals, whatever you name. But still, if you see the GDP contribution to in India, it's hovering around 2 to 3%. Best of the times, nearer to 3%, and worst of the times it's less than 2%. Whereas compared to many other mining countries, because India is also seen as a big mining country. If I give example of Australia, Australia's mining contribution to GDP is 10%. If you talk about South Africa, it's 7.5% contribution to GDP. If you talk about Canada, it's 5% contribution to GDP. So then, what would be the steps which maybe the government as well as the miners should take so that we can contribute to the extent of what the other mining countries are doing to the GDP? So that's what I think is a discussion. So the government has carried out a series of major reforms. So most of the things the participants are aware, but even at the cost of repetition, I would like to mention some of them. Mandating auction of mineral concessions to improve transparency, establishing district mineral foundation and national mineral exploration trust, stringent penalty for illegal mining. I think all these three have been definitely the steps towards making the business easier. So MMDR was further amended in 2016 and 2020 to allow transfer of leases for non-auction captive mines and to allow with the emergent issue of expiry of leases on 31st March 2020. All of you were aware that for merchant mines, 2020, all the mines have been put for auction. For the captive mines, which are under private possession, it would be for 2030. And also, the best part which has happened when this auction has happened, there has been an apprehension from many private miners as well as the industry that there would be a drop in production. So to take care of that, not to have drop in production, all the licenses, all the clearances have been transferred back to back. I think this has been a very good step in the sense the moment MMDR amendment happened, many people told that there will be dip in production, but it never happened because the government has acted proactively and they have transferred all the clearances to the next lessee. Similarly, several policy initiatives have been taken by Ministry of Mines, such as the Minerals Second Amendment Rules of 2021, which was notified on 14/12/21, the Mineral Auction Fourth Amendment Rules 2021, notified on 14/12/2021, the Mineral Auction Amendment Rules of 2022, and also the Mineral Conservation and Development Rules 2022, which are notified on for 11th April 2022 for allowing reporting the data of iron ore from 45% to below 51% Fe. So this is one change which Ministry of Mines has also done. Earlier it used to be 45%, now it is from 45 to 51 also one can report, and below 45% in two brackets. And also the reimbursement of exploration expenditure rules 2022 notified on 3/6/2022. Further 13 accredited private mineral exploration agencies were notified by the ministry. So I will come to the exploration expenditure also. In some of the fora I was mentioning, even the exploration expenditure in India was very minimal, is very minimal compared to the mining countries which I have been referring to. But still some steps definitely have been taken in this area, and as I mentioned, 13 accredited private mineral concession exploration agencies have been included. So in June 2020, after I think more than 45 years of nationalization of coal in the country, Government of India opened the coal sector for commercial mining by private players. The government has also introduced a system of sharing of revenues. Unlike non-coal, in non-coal we talk about premium, but in coal, the Government of India told that it would be sharing of revenues, moving away from the fixed rate to an ad valorem system. Further, with 100% foreign direct investment allowed in the coal sector, Global companies can also participate in the auctions. Domestic coal production will receive a good boost through this, along with large-scale employment generation and huge opportunities for investment in coal sector. So we talked about the amendments in MMDR. We have talked about coal also. So these are some of the progressive steps Government of India has taken. Recently, the Ministry of Coal amended Mineral Concession Rules 1960 with a view to enhance the ease of doing business in coal industry and decriminalize its provisions. It decriminalized 68 provisions, whereas penalty has been reduced to 10 provisions in the MCR. And express provision has been introduced for adjustment of additional shortfall or excess royalty. Further, the rate of penal interest on delayed payment of rent. Most of you are aware that earlier it used to be 24%. That has been reduced to 12%. So these are some of the definitely progressive steps which have been taken by Government of India. But still, dil mange more. It is not enough. If you really want to go to 300 million ton of steel production and want to be Atmanirbhar Bharat in the areas of mining also, apart from many other areas. So the major hurdles, if you ask me, I would like to tell only 3 to 4. One is the clearances. So though something is written on the as a letter, but if you see the spirit, these two don't go in line. So while the stipulated timelines mandated for the grant of EC within 330 days and for FC it is 520 days. But most of you, the miners are aware how much time it takes to get a EC. The average EC is almost 2 years and for FC it is almost 5 to 7 years. So I would just like to give an example of West Bokaro. I spoke about this in one of the other forums also. We applied for forest clearance for 289 hectares in 2004. We got the clearance in 2021. So when I was head of the mine, I was manager of the mine, we applied. From manager I became agent, then general manager, then executive in charge, principal executive officer, and now I am vice president. Recently we got that approval. So if at 289 hectares, because of various reasons, sometimes you can blame the user agency, sometimes it could be the government agency, whatever it is. But end of the day, what is happening? The production is curtailed, the job opportunities are limited, and also the ecosystem is also limited. Because if you produce more, if you create more job opportunities, then the ecosystem will also thrive. And not only that, though there has been clearly mentioned in EIA notification that you can do it, it can be deemed EC, but it never happens. So after 45 days, the EC has not been given, then it is considered to be a deemed EC. But when you go to the state government, say that I have got a deemed EC, they say no, you cannot get a CTE for a deemed EC. You need to get an EC properly, then only I will give you a CTE, and after that you will get a CTO. So these are some of the issues. Because of that, what's happening, though it has been opened up for forest direct investment, but still because of the difficulty in these areas, people are not willing to invest. Unless the way we are talking about 300 million tons, out of 300 million tons, maybe today we are at around 120, 130 million tons. 170 million tons of steel requires, each billion ton requires roughly $1 billion of investment. So 170 extra, that means 170 million to be $7 billion. So this is what the 1 billion means $170 billion, so investment is required. I don't think with the resources inside the country we would be able to do unless we attract some investment from outside India. Second is auction of non-coal mines. We have seen this, and I would just like to give, even one of the co-speakers mentioned about the premium. The highest premium that has gone is 275%. The premium value is more than the value of the reserves or resources in the mine. So that shows, very sorry to comment, I am not very sure whether we say it's the greed of the government or it's the greed of the miner. End of the day, the mine for sure is not going to start. So who is gaining out of that? Is anyone gaining in the ecosystem out of that? Because the auctions have gone to such a person, because I know after the auctions have started in many of the states, I must compliment that Orissa has grabbed the opportunity, and there have been almost 29 mines which have been auctioned, and also they have been made operational. Last year, the revenues of Orissa through mining was almost 49,000 crores, and the similar number is going to be this year also. Almost in last 2 years, they have got 100,000 crores of revenues. But is it going to be a long-term revenue, or it is going to be a short-sightedness? That I think only time will tell us. Because the way the premium is there, and when we approach central government also saying that there is a premium and there is a draconian law called MDPA. So in MDPA you say that you have to produce whatever has been produced prior to 2020, at least 80% of that you must produce, or else you have to pay penalty. When all the miners were going for auction, that time the penalty provision was 24% of the declared IBM price. And after the auctions were over, that 24% has become 24% plus premium, plus royalty, plus NMET, plus DMF. If a person has bagged a mine for 92% of royalty, 92% of premium, then he has to pay a penalty of 135%. When the material is available in the market at 100%, who would like to mine at 135% penalty? So these are some of the things. There has been discussion also on this, and rightly so, government of Orissa has positively responded, and they are willing to change it also, provided it gets the consent from Ministry of Mines, Government of India. So added to all this, you already have a GST 18%. So the royalty over royalty 18% GST with premium and all. States might be thinking that they are going to mint money, but I am not very sure how many mines are going to be fully operational, because some mines have not seen the day of the light of the day, because they have realized that with the premium and all, it is better to buy from OMC or NMDC rather than have your own mining. So this, I don't know where we are going to go with these laws unless it is amended. Some, as I mentioned, some auction leases were surrendered, and some others which started production, they failed to meet MDPA obligation. Once you don't meet MDPA obligation, then you have to surrender the mine. You have to pay penalty, and 2 years if you are, 2 subsequent quarters if you are failing, then your lease may also be asked to surrender. And second thing is like mineral like chrome. We are not, India is not a very big player in ferrochrome or chrome for that matter, but yes, definitely we export ferrochrome, and international prices are governed by China and South Africa. China is one of the biggest consumers, and South Africa is one of the biggest producers. So in that case, India cannot, neither can control cost of production nor can control the price of chrome ore, and then over and above the premium and MDPA, you can imagine what would happen to chrome players who have been in this play. So these are some of the, definitely some of the issues I think through this forum I would like to highlight, and I hope Ms. Monica Bachchan, after this session is over, would also like to highlight the same to the concerned governments, whether the state or center. Coming to exploration, we have done very little exploration, though we have got kitty also through NMET. Australia has spent 15,500 crores in calendar year 2021. Canada has spent 17,000 crores. China has spent 4,500 crores. And the total NMET fund accrued till 31st December 2021 was 3,300 crores for India, but India spent only 377 crores from the fund. That means if you see, if you compare with the GDP and all, it is 0.2% it has spent from whatever revenues it has got. So this is one area where I think for doing, if you want to definitely look at the ease of doing business in mining, exploration is one area where Government of India as well as the agencies which have been accredited, they should like to look at. Way forward, whatever problems I have mentioned, definitely there should be a rethink for lowering the multiple taxations, whether it is premium, royalty and all that. And I suggest maybe there should be a national mineral exchange from where you can capture the prices at the market price of all the minerals, and then you can get it through National Mineral Index, and once National Mineral Index comes into play, that may be able to take care of whatever the auction related prices which I am talking about. And we already discussed about the clearances, whether it is environment clearance or forest clearance and all. How do we reduce the timeline so that whatever the money has been spent for these clearances by the miner, he can get it through mining fast. And major issue which we are seeing in mining industry, at least in India, because all these are remote operations, so the skill upgradation is one thing which we are finding that it's an issue. So that is one issue where we can look at, and even my co-speakers have spoken about logistics. Because for 300 million tons, almost 470 million tons of iron ore has to be transported. And similarly, the coal and all, for each one ton, almost 1.6 to 1.7 tons of minerals have to be, input has to be transported. For all these also we require logistics. I think logistics support which needs to be looked into. And already Ajay Shankar committee has talked about the compulsory afforestation. That is one major issue which the private sector is struggling, where the land, you have to find out the equivalent land, and some of the states where the forest cover is very good, like Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand, it becomes very difficult to find out compulsory afforestation land, number one. Number two, if you ask the lessee to go and find out the land, it becomes very difficult, whereas in Orissa, government of Orissa, it finds out the land for you and it allocates the land for you so that you can transfer the same. But whereas some other states, the lessee has to go and find out, and where there is an influence of LWE, and personally going and finding out land is also becomes a tough task. So these are some of the issues I think the governments may like to address to make the business in mining business in India a bit easier. Thank you all for patient hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Sundararaman, for a very insightful address and also bringing forth the challenges and issues being faced in the mining industry. Now, inspired by Tata Steel, dear people, now I would like to invite Shri Kalyan Mohanty, Executive Director, Industrial Promotion and Investment Corporation of Odisha Limited, to address this august gathering, please.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Dignitaries on the dais, Sri A.T. Mishra Sir, IFS, Sri Sumit Dev Sir, CMD, NMDC, Sri Sabyasachi Mohanty, Director Operation, OMC, Sri D.V. Sundar Raman, Vice President, Raw Metal, Tata Steel, dignitaries of the dais, and my seniors, Sri Shashi Shekhar Sir, N.D. Rao Sir, all are present here. It's a good pleasure for me to be with you for this good occasion. So the topic I have to discuss with you is the ease of doing business in the industrial sector. So before going to that, I just take 1 minute how Odisha's industrial vision has formulated and how we have grown up in the industrial sector. As Sabyasachi sir told that OMC has a very good mining operation starting from 1964, and Tata Steel of course from 100 years they are mining in Odisha. So mining sector is flourishing in Odisha for last you can say 7 to 8 decades in very nice way. But of late our Honorable ex-Chief Minister, late Chief Minister, Minister Biju Patnaik just have a vision that why only Odisha will be a raw material producing state, why not value should be added in the state itself. So in the 90s, the vision has been changed by government of Odisha. The raw material produced in the state has to be value added. As sir told that Odisha is blessed with, you can say, lion's share of the country in iron ore, in bauxite, in chrome, in coal, I mean nickel, manganese, everything. So also we are blessed with 480 kilometer coastline, which many other states with raw material but don't have any port or coastline. So we are blessed with that. But that is not just mining and importing it, exporting it is not the solution for the state. State needs employment, state needs revenue, further revenue generation from the minerals. So then our honorable late Sri Biju Patnaik Chief Minister has suggested that the value should be added in the state. So just imagine in the 90 when that vision has come, we have merely we can say that maximum 2 million ton steel capacity. And hardly NALCO is operating and with a very less capacity as well as that aluminum sector Hirakud is there. So now after 30 years we can proudly say that Odisha has from 2 million ton has reached 34 million ton installed capacity in steel. We are the highest producing, you can say that nearly 60% aluminum producing state in the country, and we are the highest stainless steel producer, and also we are lion's share in the thermal power generation. Also you can say that in chrome also our ferrochrome production or ferroalloy production is one of the largest in the country. So many more things has happened. So further now we have added our vision to this. Our Honorable CM Sri Naveen Patnaik sir added the vision. We will not just stop here, because with that vision of Biju Patnaik sir, we are now going to touch 130 million ton steel by 2030. Maybe brownfield expansion, maybe greenfield project, large green steel project. So we will touch 130 million ton steel, and mining sector is also geared up to match the raw material requirement. Maybe it is OMC, captive mines, anything, Tata Steel Mining. So all are just geared up to meet the target of 130 million ton steel production in the state. Similarly, the capacity expansion of aluminum sector as well as ferrochrome sector is also going in a very high pace. But now the vision is that how to make more revenue generation or more employment from this steel. Only producing prime steel is not our aim. We have to go to further value addition to the steel, to the aluminum sector, and of course to other raw material sector. So now our vision is that 50% value addition to the prime metal produced in the state. Maybe aluminum, maybe steel, maybe stainless steel. So with that vision, now Odisha government has facilitated with large industrial parks for downstream industries. You can say NALCO Industrial Park, NALCO Aluminium Park, Vedanta Aluminium Park in aluminium sector. In stainless steel technology, Jindal Stainless Steel has set up a park. Tata Steel is setting up a big downstream park at Kalinganagar. So all these has coming up to further value addition to the prime steel produced in the state. So this is the vision of the state, and we are working very hard to achieve the target of 50% value addition to the prime metal produced in the state. Now coming to the business environment and business, how we are attracting the investment to the state, because we have the raw material, because we have the ports and other infrastructure facilities, which we will just explain after 1 minute. So the two factors decides the industry setup in anywhere. First, it is of course the rate of return in the investment, but two major factors, that is, one is cost of doing business, one is ease of doing business. Today we are discussing on ease of doing business. Cost of doing business is equally important, because it needs availability of raw material and locational advantage, market, logistic facility, like anything. Andy Rao Sahab can clearly tell that if a pellet plant has to be produced, has to install in the state, or Shashi sir has to tell, then that slurry pipeline has to be there, and that fines have to be, water requirement that has to be met with there. So that is a lot of logistic facility has to be provided, so that their cost of doing business will be less. That is one part, and of course fiscal benefits what state is giving. So cost of doing business depends upon the place to place. If it is X in Maharashtra, it may be Y in Odisha, or Z in you can say in Madhya Pradesh. So that depends the topological and raw material availability on all the other things. But ease of doing business is definitely a state prerogative, and how state government has facilitating or going to facilitate the industrial setup, that is the main challenge of the present scenario. Because you know that day to day the population growth as well as the society changing has caused a lot of roadblocks for industrialization, and of course pollution is the major factor. So considering all these things, how state government is facilitating ease of doing business in the state is a challenging thing. So I will just take 2 minutes how we are just coming to ease of doing business, and that's why Odisha has stand, you can say that pride that we have the one of the top destination in the country for doing business, and we have rated number 1 When we have toppled Maharashtra, attracting the investment to the state in all our country, we are number one. That is one thing, and due to our ease of doing business, we are converting at least more than 50% of our intents to really grounding of the projects, which is the highest in the country. In the country's average is 22%. We have 50% grounding projects of our declared investment in the state for last 7 years. That is a big achievement for the state like Odisha. Now going for ease of doing business, I will just take 2-3 slides, sir. That is how our government or our vision of our Honorable CM we have reflected to facilitate the industrialization. That ease of doing business scenario and major reforms in mining and metallurgical sector. See that slide is operating? Yeah. So, and also that technological interventions and industry-ready infrastructure, industrial policy, and last that is called last mileage. I will explain that how. So, for us, we are growing up and we are now reached 5G technology. So, our industrial promotion facilitation now totally 100% on technology base. So, no manual intervention. You can say that first is Go Swift. That is the main you can say that portal of Government of Odisha for industrialization as well as industry facilitation. Go Swift has been awarded best in the country, and 4 years back our Principal Secretary has received the award from Government of Odisha that best reform we have done across the country in the industrial sector. Then you can say that there is also a lot of industrial policy technology interventions like Go Plus, which is our land identification, Go Care, which is our that is the you can say that inspection scenario how it has been online, that is Go Care, that is Go Smile, and Go Care is how after facilitation to the industry for their set up in the industry, then how we are resolving their issues, local issues, government issues, that is there. All are with technology base and other single window clearances. And this Go Swift is facilitated with 55 you can say online clearances in principle approvals through online portal. So that is the vision of Odisha. I have taken that 50% value addition. So I have just explained digital transformation. Now I will go to infrastructure, how the infrastructure is placed for Odisha. So before going to this infrastructure facilities, I will just tell that due to this technological interventions and Go Swift portal, where our average of time taking for a in principle approval for a project was more than a year time 10 years back. Now the average time is only 19.9 days. Today if you are submitting your proposal online, if it is a green and a white category project, the government will approve in principle approval within 15 days, and if it is a red category project, within 30 days you will get the approval. And of course now government has declared that if you want 50-acre land, 30-acre land, we will give you in 30 days. If you want 50-acre land, we will give you in 15 days. And if you want 100-acre land, we will give you 100 days. This is our commitment from the Government of Odisha. So before going to infrastructure, another point I have to mention, which really stood first in the country, that is Go Smile. Go Smile is nothing, it is just to cut the inspection rats. You know that any industry, as you are all our industry captains, if you are set up any industry anywhere, then lot of inspections happen annually, biannually, monthly in your factory premises. It may be factory boiler, it may be pollution control, it may be you can say power sector, energy sector. A lot of inspections happen, labor, lot of inspections happen, and they go any day with a intimation to you that today we are visiting your factory, any department. What government of Odisha done? Synchronized inspection system. That is, if 5 statutory bodies has to inspect your factory, then these 5 should go at one day with a prior intimation to you a month ahead, and online who will go to inspect, that will be reflected to your portal, and that inspector will not repeat it for the second time, so that there is no inspection loss. And when they will go for inspection, a standard operating procedure has to be communicated to you. They will inspect on this, and you have to get ready. And within 24 hours of inspection, they will upload the inspection report online, so that you cannot go visit their office to get your inspection report. So all these benefits to the industry has been populated so nicely that Government of India declared that the GoSmile is the best portal in the country, and other states are now followed our GoSmile portal for inspection system. So the infrastructure facility, yes, Government of Odisha has been blessed, as you mentioned, and our sir has been mentioned, that raw material reserve is there, but we are blessed with 3 operating ports, and of course one major port is coming up by Tata's at Suvarnareka. So these 4 ports are really the backbone of industrial growth of the state. One part is the raw material is available, second part is the logistic facilities available. Logistic may be railway network, maybe road network, maybe port network. So all these in 3 fields, our Odisha government's infrastructure is such a robust network, just the industries find it very smooth for doing the business. You can say that when other states are struggling for the slurry pipeline, NDRAV Saab has established 2 big slurry pipeline in the state 15-20 years before that slurry pipeline has been popularized. That is for the Isar steel project at Paradip, as well as BRPL steel project at Kalinganagar. So imagine that the slurry coming directly from mine shed to the industry and getting the pellets converted to pellets. How easily the logistics has provided the advantage, and the cost of doing business is very less considering the logistic support. Similarly, railway network, we are very strong. As Shashi Shekhar sir knows that, or your industry captains, you know that for producing 1 million ton steel, at least 4 million ton raw material has to be handled. So imagine that if we are now producing 34 million ton, then 120 million ton of raw material only in the steel sector or including finished product in the steel sector has to be handled. Similarly in aluminium, similarly in ferrochrome, and in other sector thermal power projects. So for that logistic support, government has developed a very robust road network. We have participated with all railway special purpose vehicle project, and we have converted 3 successful railway special purpose vehicle projects, so that our railway network connected from mines head to the port head or to the industry head will be very smooth. Similarly, port network is so strong that, and the national highway connecting the port network is well established, so there is no logistic, you can say that Hindenburg at present. But considering in future by 2030, as we are going for 130 million ton steel production, as well as much more bauxite production in the state. So we are planning to a integrated logistic development, which is under preparation by RITES, as well that KPMG is taking the lead. So we will come up with a very good logistic development network in the state to support mining sector, as well as the industry sector, as well as the export promotion. You can say that with Suvarnareka port and other 3 ports, and another 3-4 captive ports is coming up. So with these 7-8 port network, export facilities will be also highly promoted. So if I will stop here, you have lot of doubts that this is not the end of facilitation. Of course, there is another big facilitation, that is policy level interventions. So see how our government has formulated the policy, which is the, you can say, at present best in the country. That is, first is capital investment subsidy. The capital investment subsidy is the major subsidy which industry really wants. Suppose you have invested 100 crore in your plant machinery, and if it is following in our thrust sector, Third sector, particularly the new age technology sectors, you can say green ammonia production, green hydrogen production, or IT, ESTM sector, all these high technology sectors where it is third sector, you are getting straightway 30% capital subsidy. That is, if you are investing 100 crore, 30 crore will be given by Government of Odisha to the industry in 5 years. When you declare your commercial production, you will get 30% capital subsidy. Similarly, if you are in priority sector, there are 20 priority sectors in the state, as you told, I have mentioned that metal downstream sectors, apparel sector or garmenting sector, technical textile sector, food processing sector, or if it is chemical, petrochemical sectors, we have 20% capital subsidy as a big boost for your industrial setups. That is capital subsidy without any upper cap. Other states may have capital subsidy, but they have upper cap. But we don't have any upper cap. If you are investing 30,000 crore in plant machinery, definitely you are going to straightway get 9,000 crore benefit from the state. There is a doubt whether Government of Odisha can provide these big incentives in capital subsidy. Yes, proudly we can say yes, because as you know that our mining sector is so strong and we are getting huge amount of revenues from mining sector. This year, last year I think Sabesas had known that we have got 55,000 crore as a revenue from the mining sector. So our budget provision is very strong and robust. Not a single day we have done advance charge OIR means from the RBI. You can see the last 15 years from the RBI website. Odisha's budget and monetary provision is so strong that we are not depending with the central government any policy or any support. So we are self-sufficient on our budgeting system. So we are very sure that this 30% and 20% capital subsidy is a big boost for industrial sector. Maybe it is mining equipment manufacturing sector, maybe it is mining value addition sector. So it is a very big investment subsidy on that sector. Then you can say that power tariff. Yes, we are giving 100% ED exemption to the thrust and priority sector. We are straightway giving 2 rupees tariff subsidy for 7 years. And some, of course, on some 10 years in some cases for the priority and thrust sectors. This is also big. Though our power tariff is one of the, you can say not least, but one of the least in the country, considering the other industrialized states. Our landed power tariff may be around 6 rupees. If you are getting 5 rupees 80 paisa around, if you will exclude 50 paisa as ED exemption, it is coming 5 rupees 30 paise, and after all that, if you are getting 2 rupees subsidy on that, power tariff subsidy, power cost will be 3 rupees 30 paise. Imagine. We promise this because we are power sufficient state, statewise 7 into 24 into 7, and quality power, we are exporting power to the other states due to our thermal coal reserve. And if you can say that other benefits like SGST reimbursement of 100%, that is 200% of your plant machinery without any time limit. If you can achieve it in 20 years, up to 20 years you can get the SGST, that is net SGST reimbursement from the Government of Odisha till you get 200% of your plant and machinery cost. Other benefits like reimbursement of ESI, EPF, all these things like we are providing. This is in a nutshell, the other benefits are there, but these 4 major benefits I have highlighted. This is last mile facilitation. That is that if you are talking at Bhubaneswar, but if you are industry at Baleswar or you can say at Dhamra, then what is, we are talking all the things, very goody things at Bhubaneswar. But what is the ground reality? Whether there is anybody in the ground to handhold the industry for their quick implementation, smooth implementation, and after implementation also smooth running of the projects. Yes, we have formed, Government of Odisha has decided 2 years back that we have to form district level promotion agency, that is DIPA. So we have formed the DIPA team in now with 15 districts, and another 15 districts will be provided within 3 months time. That means in DIPA team we have a 3-member team which round the clock they will monitor your investment scenario. If you have investment 100 crore, how it is going, whether any difficulties there, they are directly reporting to the district collector magistrate, and round the clock they are monitoring your project progress and project implementation, and any issues there immediately they are highlighting to the Bhubaneswar office to take care immediately, if not resolved in the ground state. So that is the DIPA, that is we are called last mile facilitation for the industry. Not only we are facilitating here as Bhubaneswar, but we are facilitating at your doorstep anywhere you put your money or your industry inside Odisha. So I will just end up our facilitation system just telling a small fact, which is a fact which happened 6 months back. The one TYK corporation from Japan, they are the refractory manufacturers and a big supplier to the steel projects. So they thought that as the government of India is advancing for 3 million ton steel capacity in near future by 2030, so they want to set up one unit at India. So they firmly tie up that Japanese, they have a very much particular regarding their investment. So their investment in Jamshedpur is very fine. Earlier they have very much good relations with Jamshedpur as well as at Kolkata. So they thought that these two states we will take a call on these two destinations. So their 5 members team visited India, and first they go to Jamshedpur, but unfortunately they could not find any land there. They need only 5-acre land. They could not find any land which shown to them will be, you can say that, thrice sold to the industries. Now there will be the 4th sale. So they are not happy because Japanese are very particular on their policy framework. So they are not happy there Jamshedpur. They stayed 2 days but could not find any suitable land. They again go to Kolkata, but they could not meet the industry secretary. I should not tell it, but as they mentioned that after 2 days of staying at Kolkata, they could not make a visit to meet the industry secretary. So they thought that they will return back to the Japan. But unfortunately, Consul General of Japan just advised him, why you are not visiting Odisha, which is coming up with a good steel capacity in near future. So they reluctantly visited Odisha, and they come to Bhubaneswar. As we are the nodal agency, they met us. So they told us, this is our purpose, we need 5-acre land close to the steel city so that we can make special refractory here. So immediately, within 10 minutes, I rang up our Principal Secretary Industries. He told me that immediately bring that team to me. I am here to give 1 hour time to them. So Principal Secretary discussed 1 hour in detail with him, with the team, and immediately instruct Tata Steel at Kalinganagar and JSL Kalinganagar to make special facility for the visit to the Kalinganagar. And my colleague Siddharth is here. Siddharth is our nodal person. He is the nodal person for mining and metal sectors for our industrial department. So he accompanied that team to Kalinganagar. Kalinganagar is the steel hub of our state. So there, before they reach there, our DIPA team immediately rushed to the site within half an hour, make a 5-acre land demarcated with all solid that flag demarcation for that 5-acre and a flex facing that 5-acre land reserved for TYK Corporation Japan. A big so when they reach, they want to go to site. Immediately they are taken to site. They see that boundary wall has been demarcated. Everything is there. Team is ready. So they are very happy. They immediately take a photograph, sent to Japan. Then they go to Tata Steel and JSL. Just ask how the business is going here. Mr. Rajiv Kumar of Tata Steel, Vice President, explained them for half an hour how Tata Steel is doing business at Kalinganagar. And also JSL explained them the real fact of the business, because they are industry house, they like to hear from the industry house. So you just imagine, after 3 days we got the letter from Japan that please reserve that land for us. And in our Make in Odisha conclave in December, their Japan ambassador, in presence of Japan ambassador, they signed an MOU with government of Odisha that we are investing in Odisha. This is our facilitation. So ladies and gentlemen, we are always here 24 hours for your investment, to take care of your investment. And if you are feeling any difficulty or you finding any difficulty in Odisha on industrial facilitation, please contact us. We are ready to facilitate, and it is our pride to facilitate you for your next investment in the state. Thank you for your patient hearing.
Meanwhile, Siddharthji, the nodal officer of AP Coal, Siddharth Patnaik, can you please stand up? So he is the person related to, he is looking after investments. So you all can reach out to him after the session. So you can just wave, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Shri Mohanty, for a very in-depth address, also enlightening all of us on how it is easy to do business in Orissa, making Orissa the land of new opportunities. Ladies and gentlemen, with these words, before I invite our guest of honor for his address, in very brief, I would like to share with all of you that Shri A.T. Mishra is an officer of the Indian Forest Service of the 1994 batch. He was awarded with Best All-Round Forester and Sulochana Naidu Trophy by IGNFA Dehradun. He was awarded with the prestigious Indira Priyadarshini Vriksha Mitra Award in 2010 in the individual category. He has also published many papers in a lot of very famous Indian journals. Mr. Mishra is also known wildlife photographer and a very vivid bird watcher of Jharkhand. In fact, he's written a book by the name Birds of Jharkhand. With these words, I invite our guest of honor, Shri A.T. Mishra, IFS, Deputy Director General Forest, Regional Office, Ministry for Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Bhubaneswar, to address this august gathering, please.
Mr. Sumit Dev, CMD and MDC, Mr. Kalyan Mohanty, Executive Director, Industrial Promotion and Investment Corporation of Odisha, Mr. Sundar Raman, Vice President, Raw Material, Tata Steel, Mr. Sabyasachi Mohanty, Director Operation, Orissa Mining Corporation, Madam Monica Bachchan, Founder and Entrepreneur, Metallurgic Projects Management Services Private Limited. Distinguished guests, Mr. Rao, Mr. Pankaj Satija, ladies and gentlemen, press and media representative. I must thank Madam Monica for giving me this opportunity to address the people who really matter to ensure our future. I may be wrong to speak this in a meeting which is related to ease of doing business in mining in India, but as our dignitaries have already spoken, many aspects of mining in India, particularly Director OMC, he spoke about the modernization of mining, which is a major requirement for sustainable mining. Mr. Raman pointed out the changes that have already done in to make it easy to have a better mining business in India. At the outset, Mr. Sumit Dev definitely introduced the topic, so I don't think, and Mr. of course Mohanty, he has absolutely in a detailed manner, he invited all of us to invest in Odisha and the kind of atmosphere they are providing for the business community, for the mining community to go ahead their business in Odisha. Before I start speaking on the topic, I must tell you we are blessed as an Indian because India is a very rich source of mines and minerals. More than 95 minerals, metallic, non-metallic, atomic, as well as minor minerals, they are in India. If you name coal, we are the second highest producer. Aluminium, chromite, we are the third largest. Iron, fourth, bauxite, fifth. If we go on speaking the name of the mines, so we have a position in the world. So being so much resourceful, we have to analyze ourselves. Are we able to justify our resource? What is our contribution to the GDP? It is somewhere from 2 to 3%, rightly pointed out by Mr. Raman while speaking. So there is enormous scope to increase the contribution of mining sector to the GDP. The employment, more than 2.3 million of direct employment mining sector is providing to our nation. And if you consider the indirect employment, it is more than 10 times of the direct employment. More than 23 million indirect employment. So the mining sector is contributing to a large extent, not only to the people who are employed, but also to the common people of India. So absolutely there is a need to make this mining business easy. That's why ease of doing business concept came. So how we can simplify the processes. And fortunately, the government is committed to have any improvement suggested by the people who are responsible, and if we can convince us that yes, it is required, it is legitimate, and it is genuine, definitely. MEMC Amendment 2021, exploration norm for ML from G2 to G3, CL from G3 to G4, even expired lease to be auctioned. In case of fast bidder, if he does not deposit the UP, the second bidder gets the right. So these are some of the, efforts, regulations, change in rules, amendments that has led to make it easy for creating an atmosphere for doing the mining business in a better way. You will be astonished to know recently, even clearances will be transferred to the new lessee. In the past, if the lessee changed, whatever clearances they have got, that is over. They have to go for new clearances. Now, because of this change, now the clearances also getting them as it was to the previous mine owner. The environment clearances processes has also been changed. EC for even non-coal less than 250 hectares, it is now one can get it from SIA, State Environment Impact Assessment Authority. So these are certain changes. If we go on listing, we have done wonderful amendments, changes, regulations to make our business easy. But it is not all. There is always a scope for improvement. If it is properly addressed, then definitely it is a process that goes on changing to create a better atmosphere. Recently, if you, many of us may not be knowing, forest conservation rule that came in 2022, that is also, that is having a tremendous impact in reducing the time. There was a lot of criticism, forest clearances getting so much of time. Now, in the past, DFO to conservator to in some state, regional chief conservator, then nodal officer to PCCF, state government to regional office to ministry. So a lot of time was going there. So in the state, now they have created a project monitoring committee for scrutiny. So at nodal officer level only, whatever proposal is submitted, they sit and they decide whether the ETS, multiple ETS is over now. Whatever, the committee will sit and say yes or no, whether we will go ahead with the proposal. If yes, so whether there are certain lacuna in the project. So one time ETS, if ETS is met out, so the nodal officer, now in the nodal officer office level only, the proposal will move to the state government, then to ministry. The second one, delegation. You will be astonished to know most of the forest diversion cases, they are approved at a regional office level. Whatever may be the size of the forest land involved, all linear projects, roads, railway, transmission line, pipeline, conveyor, slurry pipe, canal, whatever, if it is a linear project, it will be approved at the regional officer level. 5 hectares of mine also in the regional officer level. 5 to 40 hectare other than mine, again in the regional officer level. For more than 40 hectares of forest land diversion, and for mine more than 5 hectare, that is only going to ministry. So these are all kind of measures that are being done to simplify, to reduce the hurdle, so that the people who are doing the business, they can get a better opportunity and better ease of doing things. Recently, many may not be knowing, the compensatory afforestation rule, that has also been changed. So, if somebody is interested for forest diversion, definitely they can think of creating forest. They can keep the forest which can be utilized for their diversion. And there is a detailed norm how it is to be created and what should be the criteria. The density should be around 0.4, 40% density. The area should not be 10 hectare, 25 hectare, and for every 10 hectare additionality, there are incentives. So there are so many changes, and that is only to make the business easy. So when the government is committed to make such things easier, so the responsibility now lies with us, more with you who are involved in the mining business. Absolutely, there is no doubt in the fact that mining, right from exploration, mining, transportation, grading, you name the activity of mining, it contributes negatively to the environment, negatively to the health of the people living in and around. There is no doubt about it. When mining is contributing negatively to the environment, to the people, so it is the responsibility of the people who are involved in the mining to consider this aspect from their heart. It is not, this is the condition I complied. You ask yourself whether what I am complying, it is really worth complied. When I am watering, honestly I am watering to avoid dust pollution. When, just imagine a situation when we may not be palatable to the people who are sitting here with a simple interest, because when we are dealing with mining, we just think mining in isolation. We are putting a steel industry, we just think how to get most benefit out of it in isolation, but think in a holistic way. Suppose there are 10, 15 mining companies, they got lease in a particular area, because you all know geologically the mines, the raw material is available in a particular area. So it is there in the particular area. So say 10, 15, 400, 500 hectares of forest land, even 1000 hectares of lands are diverted for mining lease. So just imagine a landscape having 10 to 15 such leases comprising of 1000. Yeah. Huh.
I'll just give a trophy to students.
Okay. Just you can give? Oh, I will finish it. Within 2-3 minutes. Just I was talking about that in a particular area, say 20,000 hectares of land, they are identified and they are mined. So just imagine the landscape. So what will happen to the wild animals living outside that landscape? and this side. So totally we are losing the connectivity. So now this is the time to think what should be the size of the mining lease and what should be the ideal gap between two mining leases so that we can leave a passage for the wild animals. So we should go mining, no problem. We should address the issues that are giving challenges for the wildlife as well as the climate. The second one, I must say, there are many mines, they are already done, mining operation has been done and they are left out, no reclamation. It is not done because they are waiting that the economic value of the mineral will be suitable when the new technology will come. So we are waiting for that. So should we allow this thing? So there should be a time limit that after mining is done, within this period of time frame, this should be restored. Then the third one is when a company, this is my own thought. This is my own thought. I would request you to just analyze and if possible try to help in getting this done so that we can have a balance with mining as well. We can reduce this impact on the climate as well as the people. So just imagine if a company is having so many number of mines, how many hectares of reclamation they have done and handed over. Then further, that much of area should be given for further mining. So that you have mined and you have reclaimed and handed over. So there is a check and balance to the area that is diverted for mining. There are many defunct mining in some area, whereas we are also auctioning for new mines. So there is also a need to give a thought when in an area there are defunct mine, should we go for allowing further mining? Though it is not good for the people who are only dealing with the mine, but we have to think in a futuristic way to get sustainable mining in the country. Then the most important point when we go for monitoring different mines, there we see there are parks beautifully. They say, sir, see, we have done this eco-restoration. Beautiful lawn, fountains, trekking paths, beautiful colorful flowers. So, is it eco-restoration? I doubt. This is not eco-restoration. This is only beautification. When we fenced area and made into a park, I will not say this is a biological eco-restoration. Eco-restoration is restoration to the original state. We restored what it was in the past. I will not say if it is a sal forest, so grow sal and leave it. But we can plant trees and leave it to the nature to take care of that particular patch. If we confine, if we make a boundary and make a beautiful park, it is not eco-restoration. And this point need to be thought of when we claim that we have eco-restored this much of patch. This is my own feeling. I am not telling you. You can think yourself whether it is eco-restoration or not. Then the most important thing is, now there is a need because mining lease area is increasing. As I am sitting in the chair, I have seen the number of cases of mining, they are coming more and more and more. So there is a need to think of underground mining. Though it is not cost effective, but there is a urgent need to have research how to increase underground mining. Total stoppage and transportation on road. And the most important thing, many mining people, those who are actually experts in mining sector, I must say them, when we scrutinize mining plan, and mining plan, this is so defective mining plans are prepared, it is very, very difficult to allow for diversion, to recommend for diversion. Many diversion proposal and the mining plan, they are not in the same line. Something is recommended in the mining plan, something other coming in the proposal. So though it is taking time while getting clearance, but the problem is the mining plan. So the mining plan should address properly the issues, the current issues, safety zone. In most of the mining plan, safety zone is there is a river, there is no safety zone proposed in the mining plan. There is a road, no safety zone is proposed in the road. So it becomes difficult to take a decision while giving clearances to all those problems. So Because time is less, what I wanted to tell to you, mining is important, no doubt, but our wildlife, our nature, our environment are equally important to take us to a longer time. So what I think, sustainable mining, keeping all these aspects into account will definitely help us in getting benefit of the mine as well as mitigating the adverse impact of mining. Thank you so much.
Thank you, our guest of honor, for taking our attention towards the other side of mining concerning wildlife, climate, environment, restoration and reclamation of mines. Ladies and gentlemen, as a token of our gratitude, we would like to present a memento to our keynote speaker, Shri Sumit Deb, CMD NMDC Limited. Thank you, Monica, for presenting him with the memento. We are thankful for your time and presence. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, now we will have the stage show to promote and honor women, transgenders and differently abled in mining, to inspire people and also to inspire the employers to hire workforce from different walks of life. Can we have all the representatives on the stage, please?
But what if you belong to neither color or both? We have been struggling.
We'll first have a look at the video and then we will have the representation on the stage.
Pink is for girls, blue is for boys. But what if you belong to neither color or both? We have been struggling with our identities, struggling for acceptance, struggling for love from our families, struggling for inclusion in society. We have been deprived of education, denied jobs, exploited, sexually assaulted, mocked, discriminated upon and shunned. We lived because we didn't die. I always prayed that I get out of this vicious circle. I feel my prayers have been answered. But you know, when I learned that Tata Steel was recruiting people from the transgender community through merit-based interviews, I thought it was all fake. In the past too, people have come to us, taken our photographs, filled up forms and assured us of jobs. But then nothing ever happened. We just remained a photo op. But this time it was different. This job had made our biggest dream come true. The dream of being accepted with our real gender identities. Something which we had always had to conceal in other jobs, in the organized or unorganized sectors, for the fear of, well, everything. Till even 6 months back, I used to dance at weddings and clap on trains. Today, I am training to operate heavy machines in mines. I have an identity card that says Tata Steel. Everyone treats me with respect and dignity here. This is something I had craved for all my life. I now want to buy a house of my own a car. This job has allowed me to dare to dream. At Tata Steel, by sheer hard work, merit and talent, we can get promoted, earn more, make progress in life. What I love about my new job is the work environment. It is healthy, inclusive, accepting, sensitive, compassionate, and full of respect. For the first time, someone has recognized us as part of the workforce and offered us a respectable job, income, designation, and training. Many of us have had to conceal our truth to our families and society. Many get married due to family pressures. Many are still struggling with their gender identity on a personal level. This job with a prestigious company like Tata Steel will help many of us to come out to our loved ones and to face society boldly. Society dictates that girls must like pink, dress up in a certain way and play with dolls, while boys must like blue, must not cry, and never wear makeup. But why should it be like this? Let anyone like any color. The rainbow has 7. Slowly our families are coming to terms with our true selves. We are delighted that we work for Tata Steel. We feel proud. When a large multinational like Tata makes space for members of the transgender community, it's a pioneering moment for both the transgender community and for the private sector. We as a trans man or trans woman are going to set an example by working here, which is going to show a ray of hope to the entire transgender community. Our storms have been fierce, dark, and long. Now, our rainbow will be the brightest.
Let's put a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, with this great initiative to include women, transgenders and differently abled in mining industry. A big first from the Tata Steel. Now we would have the representation, stage show. Indeed, creating a wonderful world. We also very heartily welcome all of you who are representing the workforce in Tata Steel Mining. Ladies and gentlemen, with a round of applause, let's welcome all of them on the stage. This is also very inspiring and inspiring all the employers to hire people from all walks of life, workforce from all walks of life rather. We would love to hear about your experience, your introduction, anything that comes to your heart right now to share with all of us.
Good morning, one and all. Myself, Kalvanavya. I am a mining engineer. I am working with Tata Steel Mining Limited since 1 year. I am looking after shift operations.
And it is an immense pleasure working in this challenging industry, and I look forward to do the best I can. Thank you.
Good morning all. I am Anjana Tiwari and I am heading security functions of Tata Steel Mining Limited. I left my CPO, Central Police Organization, to join a challenging career in the mining, and I am very glad that I have chosen mining working area. Although it is I can't say that it is a glamorous occupation, but of course, whoever is just searching for the challenge and thrills, so mining is open for them, and we are just finding that more and more women to join, and it is a message to them that it is challenging, but really you will get a very engaging and thrilling career here. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon everyone present over here. Myself Priya Mishra. I am from Nominee Tata Steel and Iron Mines from mining, and I deployed as a drill operator.
Good afternoon all. My name is Pooja Kachhap and I am from Namundi Iron Mine, and I deploy as a dumper operator. Thank you.
Good morning, Saviko. मैं आशीष सिंह पटना से। मैं अभी वेस्ट बोकारो डिवीजन टाटा स्टील में कार्यरत हूँ HMM ऑपरेटर में। और हम ट्रांस में फर्स्ट बैच हैं। जो हम लोग आज तक मतलब छोटे छोटे गाड़ियों को देखकर डरते थे, आज हम 100 टन की HMM ऑपरेटर बने हुए हैं और अभी माइंस में हम लोग काम करते हैं। और जो हमारे को वहाँ पर जो हमें कल्चर मिला है वो बहुत अच्छा मिला है। और मुझे ये लगता है कि वहाँ जैसा कल्चर हर जगह मिलना चाहिए और हमें वहाँ बहुत अच्छे से स्वीकार किया गया है और हम भी उनका बहुत आदर करते हैं कि हमें और बहुत अच्छा लगता है वहाँ पर काम करके। थैंक यू सो मच।
हेलो सभी को मेरा नमस्ते। मैं त्रिशा, मैं सुकिंदा माइंस में काम कर रही हूँ करीबन 2 साल से। और उसी माइंस में काम करके मेरे को ऐसा लगा कि लोगों का जो धारणा है ट्रांसजेंडर और लड़की लोग काम नहीं कर सकते, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है। उनका नजरिया को हमको ही चेंज करना है। लड़की लोग और ट्रांसजेंडर सभी लोग काम कर सकते हैं माइंस एरिया में। और मैं भी उसी जगह पे काम कर रही हूँ, मेरे को बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है। और मेरा चैलेंजेस भी बहुत अच्छा है वहाँ पे और सभी लोग मेरे को बहुत रेस्पेक्ट भी दे रहे हैं। मैं वैसा काम भी कर रही हूँ और मेरी इच्छा है कि उसी माइंस एरिया में बहुत सारे लड़की लोग या फिर और ट्रांसजेंडर सब काम करें और उनको उसी चैलेंजेस में काम करना होगा और वो करेंगे भी। और मैं बहुत खुश हूँ। थैंक यू।
Good morning. My name is Chodaran Chaudhary. I am working in Tata Steel Mining Limited as Supply Chain Management Department. I have been working here for 2 years. The way, madam, जो नजरिया है फिजिकल चैलेंज पर्सन को लेकर, बट हियर वैसा नहीं है। ऑल द मेंटर, ऑल द एम्प्लॉयज वर्किंग विथ मी, हम लोग को एक समान देखते हैं। कभी भी ये नहीं सोचते कि ये कैपेबल नहीं है, कि कोई कुछ भी नहीं है। तो आई एम वेरी लकी टू हैव टू वर्क इन दिस माइनिंग इंडस्ट्री एंड आई वांट एवरीवन to involve physical challenged person and also transgender so that a new look will be सबको एक नया नजरिया मिलेगा फ्यूचर में। थैंक यू।
नमस्कार सभी को, मैं एनी नाथ कोलकाता हावड़ा से एंड गुड आफ्टरनून ऑल। मैं आज इस स्टेज में खड़ी हूँ, इसमें टाटा स्टील की बहुत ही बड़ी एक बदौलत है जिसके थ्रू मैं यहाँ पे खड़ी हूँ और आप लोगों के संग इतनी बड़ी एक स्टेज मैं शेयर कर रही हूँ। आई एम सो ग्लैड एंड आई एम सो लकी टू आई एम स्टे हियर। और टाटा स्टील ने ये पहल की है, पहल तो पहले से ही हुई है, बट ये जो पहल की है हम लोग को लेने की यहाँ पे, क्योंकि आई थिंक मेरे हिसाब से टाटा स्टील के लिए इंसान की टैलेंट या काम ज़रूरी है, जेंडर ज़रूरी नहीं है। वो साबित कर चुके हैं टाटा स्टील। तो थैंक्स टू टाटा स्टील जो मुझे इतना बड़ी सी प्लेटफॉर्म शेयर करने के लिए दी है, जिसमें लाइफ में बहुत सारी चेंजेस आए हैं। फैमिली, सोसाइटी, एनवायरनमेंट सब में बहुत एक्सेप्टेंस बढ़े हैं हम लोग जैसा, क्योंकि सबका लाइफ का स्ट्रगल अलग होता है, वुमेन्स के लिए, ट्रांसजेंडर के लिए। क्योंकि मैं भी अगर आज यहाँ पे खड़ी हूँ और इस लुक में खड़ी हूँ, तो मैं भी कहीं पे सोची थी या बचपन से सोची थी कि मुझे इसी हिसाब से लोग एक्सेप्ट करे, इसी हिसाब से प्यार दे, इसी हिसाब से मैं कोई काम की जगह में मैं काम कर सकूँ। वो जगह मुझे आज मिली है, विथ रिस्पेक्ट के संग मिली है। और जो जॉब करते हैं लोग, उस जॉब से आई थिंक प्यार होना बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है। तो आई एम सो प्राउड, मैं जो जॉब करती हूँ, आई एम एज ए HMM ऑपरेटर इन वेस्ट बोकारो डिवीजन। तो हम लोग वहाँ पे ज्वाइन किए 2022 दिसंबर 1 में। तो ये सपनों में भी नहीं सोचे थे कि एक इतनी बड़ी HMM ऑपरेट करेंगे, एक RG जो होता है रियर डंपर, वो ऑपरेट करेंगे, वो सपने में भी नहीं सोचे थे। वो जब ऑपरेट करते हैं बहुत ही ज़्यादा प्राउड फील होता है। और इसके पीछे भी टाटा स्टील का बहुत बड़ी हाथ है, क्योंकि एक होता है, एक थपकी होता है, मतलब काम तो बहुत कंपनी ने या दिए है शायद अभी तक, बट ये जो थपकी होता है, ये इनकरेजिंग जो होता है, वो टाटा स्टील की तरफ से आया है। वो इंटरव्यू प्रोसीड्योर से लेके आज तक टिल नाउ वो बरकरार है। और चैलेंजिंग हर जॉब होते हैं, फीमेल, मेल, ट्रांस सब है। आज जो ज़माने हैं इसमें सब जो इक्वलिटी की अगर बात किया जाए तो इस ज़माने में सब एक दूसरे से कदम मिला के चल रहे हैं, आगे भी चलेंगे। और टाटा स्टील में जो ये भरोसा दिखा है हम लोग की तरफ, वो भरोसे में हम लोग 100% क्या 200% कामयाब उतरेंगे और ये करके दिखाएंगे कि हम लोग भी इसके काबिल है। और जेंडर तो बिल्कुल ही मायने नहीं रखते, काम की जगह काम ही मायने रखते। थैंक यू सो मच।
We'll have Mr. D.B. Sundararaman from Tata Steel to say a few words.
थैंक यू। जैसा आपने देखा है कि उनको कुछ प्रूव करने का जरूरत नहीं है। हमको लगता है कि मेल फोल्क हम लोगों को अपना माइंडसेट चेंज करने का जरूरत है। जब पहला बार हम लोग विमेन इन माइंस हम लोग इंडेक्ट किए थे, जैसे मिनिस्टर ऑफ माइंस का अमेंडमेंट आया था इन ऑल 3 शिफ्ट्स, सो देयर वाज सम apprehension, how can they work in mines, but लोग अभी 100 ton डंपर चला रहे हैं, ड्रिल मशीन चला रहे हैं, and even the mining engineers are there. Now we are moving towards only women shift. अभी हम लोग एक तैयार कर रहे हैं नवंबर में, ऑलरेडी वी हैव रिक्रूटेड अंडर 30 people. जब ट्रांसजेंडर का बात हुआ है तो हम लोग को शक था कि सोसाइटी कैसे एक्सेप्ट करेगा, बट रामगढ़ का एक रिमोट टाउनशिप है वेस्ट बोकारो, वहाँ का यूनियन और वहाँ का सोसाइटी इतना अच्छा इनको एक्सेप्ट किया, वो हम लोग को खुद ही लगा कि एक्सेप्ट कर सकते कि नहीं कर सकते, बट दे एक्सेप्टेड। दैट इज द रीजन पहले हम लोग 17 ट्रांसजेंडर को लिए माइनिंग में, नाउ देयर आर मोर देन 100 ट्रांसजेंडर्स वर्किंग इन टाटा स्टील। सो थैंक यू वेरी मच, आपने जिस तरह से दिखाया है, एंड मैं आप सबसे आशा करता हूँ कि मोर एंड मोर अपॉर्चुनिटीज हम उनको दे। Whether apart from this, हम लोग we are now going to all the management institutes under a program called Curious. उसमें LGBTQ को आइडेंटिफाई करके उनको हम लोग ट्रेनिंग दे रहे हैं, and they will be joining us as managers or whatever position they want to join. And we have done that exercise and we find very good talent from there also. The way you have seen a PWD, जो people with special abilities, we are trying to encourage everyone under the diversity and inclusivity. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir. And with this, I want to call upon all Tata Steel and Tata Steel mining team to please come on the stage and let's have a group photograph. Pankaj Satija sir, Sundaraman sir, please come. And Saroj ji and Sanjay ji also. And whoever present here from Tata Steel and Tata Steel mining, please come on the stage and let's have a group photograph to create a memory of this moment. Please come. आइए सर, सब वहाँ एक वो चेन बन जाएगा। Full Tata Steel and Tata Steel mining team, please come on the stage. And I will come in the center. Yes, I will come here. Let's have a group photo. तो थोड़ा सा आगे है। Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, and I'm sure this moment is going to inspire many more in the country to have a very inclusive workforce beyond gender and abilities. Ladies and gentlemen, with this we are also very thankful to all our dignitaries on the dais today for their contribution, for their time, for their valuable presence, and as a token of our gratitude, we would like to present them with a memento. I would request Ms. Monica Bachchan to kindly present memento to Mr. Sabyasachi Mohanty, Director of Operations, OMC Limited. Thank you so much for your time and presence, Mr. Mohanty. Thank you. We are also very thankful to Mr. D.B. Sundararaman. Thank you for your time and contribution, for your valuable presence. We are also thankful to Shri Kalyan Mohanty, Executive Director, Industrial Promotion and Investment Corporation of Odisha Limited. Thank you for your time and valuable presence. And to our guest of honor, Shri A.T. Mishra, IFS Deputy Director General Forests, Regional Office Ministry for Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Bhubaneswar. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We would also like to give a memento and trophy to Mr. Santosh Mohanty, Chairman ISR Infomedia, for his contribution to the industry. Ladies and gentlemen, Iron and Mr. Santosh Mohanty. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, Iron and Steel Review is the most popular and oldest steel magazine, both in print and digital. Mr. Santosh Mohanty is heading it for the last 30 years. The magazine covers the iron, steel, raw material for steel making and also the mining industry. Thank you for your contribution. This is a memento from our side for your contribution, valuable contribution to the industry. Ladies and gentlemen, we are concluding our inaugural session of the conference on doing business in mining, ease of doing business in mining in India. We'll gather back for our first technical session at 12:25 in 10 minutes from now. Enjoy. It's a very short break, but just to maintain the timeline of the day, can we all have you back at 12:25? Thank you, and see you all back in 10 minutes. Thank you.
Hello. So let's meet everybody in the next 10 minutes. Let's have a quick tea break. Quick tea break.
Fomento Resources, an alliance of companies in the mineral resource industry committed to the social and economic advancement of its communities. Fomento Resources is committed towards the communities where we work in a sustainable manner, complying with all environmental regulations.
TVQ Coke Oven Consultants Private Limited. NRHR Stamped Coke Oven Design. WHR Power. Operations and Coal R&D.
President of
Stamp Charge Coke Oven at lowest capex. Highest recovery WHR Power. Lowest cost of metallurgy coke. Trusted NRHR Coke Oven Design.
the Vedanta Group in the year
Value-added
2020.
Quality products. Contact J. Raja Rama, Director, 0997621015. info@tvqcoke.com.
Fomento Resources, an alliance of companies in the mineral resource industry committed to the social and economic advancement of its communities. Fomento Resources is committed towards the communities where we work in a sustainable manner, complying with all environmental regulations.
TVQ Coke Oven Consultants Private Limited. NRHR Stamped Coke Oven Design. WHR Power. Operations and Coal R&D. Stamped Charge Coke Oven at lowest capex. Highest recovery WHR Power. Lowest cost of metallurgy coke. Trusted NRHR Coke Oven Design. Value-added process. Quality products. Contact J. Raja Rama, Director, 0997621015. info@tvqcoke.com.
Fomento Resources, an alliance of companies in the mineral resource industry committed to the social and economic advancement of its communities. Fomento Resources is committed towards the communities where we work in a sustainable manner, complying with all environmental regulations.
TVQ Coke Oven Consultants Private Limited, NRHR Stamped Coke Oven Design, WHR Power, Operations and Coal R&D, Stamped Charge Coke Oven at lowest capex, highest recovery WHR Power, lowest cost of metallurgy coke, trusted NRHR Coke Oven Design, value added process, quality products. Contact J. Raja Rama, Director, 0997621015. info@tvqcoke.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will be beginning shortly. May I request all of you to kindly take your seats. Please take your seats as we will begin very shortly. We are running slightly behind our schedule. May I request once again all of you to kindly be seated. Kindly take your seats. As we are about to start our first session, first panel discussion of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, with this we will begin our first panel discussion of the day. The theme of this panel discussion is Responsible Mining, Sustainable Mining Initiatives, Miners and Investors View. May I request on the dais our chair of this session, Mr. S.S. Mohanty, CEO and MD SR Minmet Limited.
Fomento Resources is committed towards the communities where we work in a sustainable
Also we have amongst us the moderator of this session, Ms. Monica Bachchan, founder Metrologics PMS. May I now request all our esteemed panelists of this session to kindly grace the dais. Mr. Partho Banerjee, Director in Formento Group. Mr. Ajit Kumar Patra, AVP Mines Barbel JSPL. Mr. H.Y. Desai, Vice President Corporate Affairs MSPL Limited. Mr. Muthumari M. Business Head Mining Division, Ferro Alloys Corporation Limited, subsidiary of Vedanta Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, the theme of this session is Deforestation to Afforestation, Efficient Use of Land, Water, Power and Human Resource, Consciousness to Reduce Carbon Footprints by Adopting Efficient Technologies, Mine Development, Mine Planning, MDO and Mine Closure Processes, Waste Management, setting the right base price of mineral produced. A very warm welcome to all the panelists of this session. A very warm welcome to the chair of the session, Mr. S.S. Mohanty. Kindly be seated. Thank you.
I'll give you the agenda. How much time you are allocating for it? And then open the question answer में काफी time है.
I'll hand over the session to you. I'll hand over the session to you. Okay. We are waiting the presence of our session chair, Mr. S.S. Mohanty. As he joins us, we will begin our panel discussion on responsible mining, sustainable mining initiatives, miners and investors' view. I'll give the session to you. On the panel, we have Mr. Partho Banerjee, Director, Informenter Group, Mr. Ajit Kumar Patra, AVP Mines Barbel JSPL, Mr. H.Y. Desai, Vice President Corporate Affairs, MSPL Limited, and Mr. Muthumari M., Business Head, Mining Division, Ferro Alloys Corporation Limited, subsidiary of Vedanta Limited. You want to start? You can just have it. Achha. Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, our session chair is with us right now. A very warm welcome to you, Mr. Mohanty. A very warm welcome to the esteemed panel. With this, we begin our first panel discussion of the day on responsible mining, sustainable mining initiatives, miners and investors' view. And now for the rest of the proceedings of this session, I hand the session over to our session chair, Mr. S.S. Mohanty. This session will be moderated by Ms. Monica Bachchan.
Good afternoon to everybody. My friends on the dais, Mr. Partho Banerjee, you Director in Informative Group, Mr. Ajit Kumar Patra, ABP Mines Barbel JSPL, Mr. H. Desai, he is the Vice President Corporate Affairs MSPL. Mr. Muthumari M, Business Head, Mining Division, FACAR, Vedanta Group. I will request my friends to take their chair and seats, so that the discussion we are talking about, the topic we are talking about is more important, and the panel discussion today is on the responsible mining and sustainable mining initiative. Unless we become responsible and sit in the chairs, maybe we are not able to enjoy these sessions. Okay, with all the background happened in the inaugural session, dear friends, I would not have gone and told you what an important session it was, especially the last portion where we felicitated some of the transgender employees of Tata Steel. And what could be better responsibility or responsible corporate, affair for any organizations. When I talk about responsibility, sustainability understood from the beginning, from the corporate. But when you want to responsibility, it's a very, very heavy word. And, basically when you ask for, again I compare when is it true or false, it is okay. But always you say, is it fair? Again, very tough word. So coming to responsibility, and how does it define responsibility? I think all people are from the mining background and already have known about the mining industry as such in India and also its contribution and Odisha mining as such. I will not go to repeat that. But I will only some of the issues that I want to spread out so that my panel experts can able to discuss on these issues. These are, mining industry is one of the oldest industry, and if anybody can correct me, it is more than 2000 BC where the mining industry started. So when you go on developing over a period of time, why at this juncture we are talking about more of responsibilities and more of sustainability? To that extent, sustainability has been a very, very buzzword for every corporate. But coming to responsible mining, it is only most of us looks like it can be responsible industry, but responsible mining, because it becomes almost fit to an industry which has its past and legacy, where we think the responsibility we should have laid as a mines owner or any other stakeholder in the part of the mining process have not done our job well, and that's why one of the reasons I'm talking about that right now are we responsible. So what is this responsibilities? In definition, responsibility is basically to satisfy or respect every stakeholder's feelings and requirements. And the stakeholders of the mines operations are. But in this context, my panelists will also talk to you in the context of, for deforestation to afforestation, efficient use of land, that is mine efficiency, with a least resource using, consciousness to reduce carbon footprint, that means net zero mining, and also mine development, mine planning, right from before 10 years of the mining start and after the closure of another 5-10 years, what has been the role, and waste management, and of course pricing of the minerals. So I think I will request my panelists to, when somebody spoke about some topic, I will request the other panelists not to repeat on this. You can able to take another topic, because there are many things. Today mining we are talking about, it is not that we are talking about the technology now. We are talking about the net carbon today. We are talking about the digitalization today. We are talking about the transparency of the mining today. We are talking about the mine management or vision and leadership of the mining engineers, how to take the mine next 30-40 years. Mineral resources are always limited. Wherever you are in Odisha also, there will be limited resources. So what is the plan? What are the visions of all the mining leaders? With these words, I request my panelists to deliberate on this topic. In between, after their we can give it open house where they are able to also interact. Then at the end of the session, I will also come and also conclude. Thank you very much for giving the opportunity. Thank you.
Now, I would like to request Mr. Partho Banerjee, Director, Fomento Group, to present his views.
Good afternoon, everyone, all the dignitaries on and off dais, industry leaders, my friends from the mining community, organizers, especially Ms. Monica from Metallurgic, and everyone present over here. It's a great opportunity to be here in a land, in a state which is definitely one of the best managed states in terms of minerals and metal sector. Whenever I ponder on the subject of sustainability, I immediately turn towards a period when I joined in a private sector first, because after spending a very long time in public sector undertaking and government, central government, then I switched on to private sector in the year 2008. Now, since then, in the pursuit of sustainability, I sometimes feel that we have lost somewhere on the way the sector itself. Because in the very beginning, it used to contribute around 2.5% of our GDP, but which has dropped down to less than, maybe today slightly less than 1.5%. Although we are a mineral giant so far as geology is concerned, but no doubt in terms of total production of mining, we are a mining dwarf. In this particular context of sustainability, the subject matter was first brought in the Bartlett Commission report, which came from the West. It addresses the issue from the what perspective, what is sustainability, that's what I call the what perspective in a much better way compared to how perspective, how it is to be ensured. When I look back to our age-old wisdom from, say, Arthashastra, it clearly talks about 3 pillars which is required for making any business sustainable. The first of that is creation of wealth. Wealth, of course, the connotation of wealth in Arthashastra is much larger, but yes, wealth, of course, acquiring fixed assets and money also to creation of wealth. Second is protection of wealth. It's a particular type of wealth that is a natural wealth which needs to be protected also, which basically allows the wealth creation possible. And third is the distribution of wealth to the community for basically creating public goods. Now, particularly in Arthashastra, one particular aspect of creating wealth is very nicely emphasized. The creation of wealth is a matter, it is clearly written, the creation of wealth is a matter of pride. Unlike what is happening today, what I see, then whenever a sector starts probably creating wealth because of maybe a dynamic market scenario or something, which had happened in case of mining during 2010 and all, suddenly the sector is overtaxed. And today, mining faces around 60% of effective tax rate, which is 1.5 times of world average. This makes the sector non-competitive. The competitive advantage of the sector is lost, and basically the entrepreneurs, they hardly find interesting to invest in a sector which is so heavily taxed. So in our sector, the first requirement, I believe, to work on sustainability is to rationalize taxation. Next important point which comes to my mind is asset acquisition. Today in our country, we have a very, very transparent and very market efficient means of allocation of resources, that is through auction. Per se, there is no issue, in my opinion, with the auction route. but still we find that in most of the cases, in most of the assets which has been acquired through this route, suffers winner's curse, and at the end of the day, they are not in a position to take off. Now this happens not because the route is bad. This happens mostly because the auction design is probably requires a special attention. This is interesting to note that I think in 2020, the two Nobel laureates who are basically awarded their Nobel Prize on their work on auction theory especially, that highlighted this issue very prominently, saying that the auction design is one of the most important aspects of any auction. It's not that we are only going through this kind of situation today, that all auctions are basically, the bids are high and people are not in a position to start basically activity in those leases acquired through auction. This kind of situation basically was faced even in the United States, sometimes in mid-70s or 80s, while allocating oil and gas reserves by the Department of Interior. And they had also faced similar kind of issues. They had come out with basically on three principal ways. One is surely by a better auction design. Second is basically, this is connected to the geologic data. Now that data needs to be basically made available through a kind of more transparent way to everybody, so that the issue of this winner's curse or overbidding does not happen in this kind of auction. And third part was basically by assessing the fair market value of the asset through a little complicated but a very logical way of computer simulation. With all these things, they had been able to basically cap the overbidding. Whatever overpricing used to be there, that used to be systematically capped at a certain point, and then the auction used to happen. So ultimately, this used to result in a kind of situation where auctioned tracts, or in our case it will be leases, where never suffered a kind of winner's curse which we see over here. Third point, which is important in terms of sustainability, is basically the delays. This particular issue has been raised by many of the predecessors in the first session, but the delays in permissions and approval to make those assets after their acquisition operational is enormous today. I do not want to give any timeline for that, because we all are there in the industry, we know how much time it takes for getting the several permissions or approvals. But it is the cost of delay which ultimately plays a very important role, and that never gets surfaced. And at the end of the day, the project that suffers very badly. So there has to be a kind of positive look onto this subject. It mostly happens, to my experience, because there are many laws which basically looks after the similar kind of subject matters, but it operates on different platforms. Say for example, environment or forest. There is a central body looking after environment or forest. There is a state body looking after part of the pollution from air, water and many other aspects. So all these basically different departments, while working on similar subjects but operating on different platforms, and most of the time there are independent vertical silos, there is no connection between them. That unnecessarily pushes off the entire cycle of approval and permission. So there has to be some kind of thought on this subject. So these are my opening remarks to deal with this subject. Let's time open for any kind of questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Partho.
I'll go there.
Now I would like to have Mr. Ajit Kumar Patra, AVP, Mines, Barbel, JSPL.
good afternoon, all the dignitaries on the dais, of the dais, my dear comrades. So at the outset, I must thank Manika Bachchan for giving me the opportunity to share the thoughts on responsible mining and whether it is sustainable or not. When you hear the word mining, then definitely it comes to every citizen in this country. It is exploitation of mineral, degradation of the land, extreme working condition, likewise, all negative things. But if you see why we are discussing about responsible mining, whether it is sustainable or not. It is only mining who contributes whenever some terrible thing happens. So today we are doing mining to a greater extent. If you see, today we are thinking of greener energy, clean energy. So if we stop mining, if mining is not responsible, if mining is not sustainable, then can we spell out, can we say the green energy is sustainable? So the minerals which are used, you think of any green energy technology, the mineral which you are using, solar panel, the batteries, so all are now based out of mineral. So without mineral, mining is an integral part of our lives. You can see the home where we are living, the car which we are driving. For an example, we can take it as smartphone. It consists of 20 mineral. We can browse the entire world through this smartphone. So when sustainability comes into the picture, that mining, there are many more saying. We have attended many conferences regarding environmentally it must be sustainable, society-wise it must be sustainable, then financially it must be feasible. But one thing always, it is my personal view, one thing always we are missing so far as sustainability is concerned. It is creating awareness amongst us. In all seminars, we are addressing a few % of entire mining value chain. That is, starting from exploration to mine closure. Are we creating awareness amongst us as the consumer, right? Suppose today, if you scan the QR code of a soft energy drink, then you can get to know what are the mineral constituents, what is the sugar level. Based on that, we are procuring that energy drinks or soft drinks. But now the question, we all sitting here should ask ourselves as a consumer, as a responsible citizen of this nation, we all should ask ourselves whether we are asking the same thing when we are procuring the things which contains mineral. Because in Indian culture, we have the culture of respect, right? Respect to senior. If we will imbibe with the culture of respecting the environment, then I think it will be much more sustainable. Suppose tomorrow we are going to market and we are procuring something which contains mineral. If we are going to ask them what is the percentage of mineral you are using in this material and what is the carbon emission in this material, then probably the industry people who are supplying, particularly the manufacturer, so they will think of. Because changes in industry comes when there is an external pressure. External pressure, I mean to say, it is the government policies, because policies always promote a culture in the society, right? So more than these government policies, it is the you and me as a consumer, they will decide that whether mining is sustainable or not, because of asking more questions to self, asking more questions to the manufacturing units. So if they will not be aligned with our values, that value system is what I am talking of,
it is with respect to environment, then definitely they will come up in that way and they will nurture in that way. Yes, if I are going to sell my product in the market, if it will not be sustainable, then I cannot sell it out. So mining is always an integral part of our life and it is not going away. So as a mining engineer, if you ask me, we are much more responsible because we are not thinking of greener technology. Today what we are mining, the minerals contribute towards greener technology. I think it will be more than 500 times we need to do mining. So can you stop mining? No. Answer is completely no. We cannot stop mining. But yes, at the same time, we should think of the sustainability of this mining, taking care of environment. So there are many laws. After auction regime, if you see, so many more changes has happened with regards to law. Many more amendment has come. So at last I can say, because there is positive time, I can say as a mining engineer, we don't drill a hole on the ground to break the ground, but we drill a hole on the ground to build the nation, to build the future of the nation. So let's join our hands together to do the sustainable mining. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Now I'll quickly like to have Mr. H.Y. Desai, VP Corporate Affairs, MSPL Limited. Sir.
Good afternoon to all. So I would like to, as I deal with the corporate affairs field, I thought that it is appropriate I can address few things on corporate affairs matters. As the topic is ease of doing business, sustainable mining. First, we need to understand how to make our life is ease. Then comes the business. Right from the evolution of the earth, if you look at it, our lifestyle is depending upon only three aspects. One is to fulfill your need, you have to grow. For your survival, you have to grow the agriculture. Second, you need to hunt. In ancient period, okay, it may be a hunting of the animal for the survival, but in the today's course, it may be a research, renovation, new opportunities, all those things, that comes under the hunt. And the third part is mine. You cannot lead the life, you cannot make any ease of business or sustainability in your life without these three aspects. Today, everything in life, right from the needle to the nuclear power, is depending on the mining. In spite of that, the mining has been looked from an magnifying lens that the mining is a very dangerous business. Mining is not at all a favor for the society, which need to be eradicated from the society. And I also would like to say that the way today ESZs are there, the protected areas has been classified, industrial clusters has been classified, the way the importance has been given to the all other aspects, why not the government to look into the mineral corridor? You reserve the specific areas for the mineral because they are site specific. I cannot bring the iron ore from if it is available in Orissa, it has to be excavated in Orissa only. I cannot excavate the iron ore in a Thar desert. I cannot go and mine in Gujarat or Rajasthan somewhere where the iron ore is not available. You can grow the forest with its physiography and relevant climatic condition, but not the mineral resources. That need to be understood, and we need to make a relevant movement by the government in reserving the areas. What need is from the government is in making the ease of business is there should be a transparency, there should be a speedy process of the applications in making the things practical, and the mining operations has to be taken place. The intent has to be very clear, interpretation has to be very fair, then the implementation can be smooth. Of course, we will be discussing in the question answer session in detail on this matter. If any questions you have, I would like to my best knowledge, I would like to clarify it. Thank you very much.
Mr. Muthu Murray, M. Business Head, Mining Division. So, from Packer, Vedanta Limited.
Very good afternoon to all. The dignitaries on the desk and off the desk, and today it was very pleasure to talk in front of so many legends from the mining industries. First of all, I would like to thank Monica ma'am for giving this opportunity. And second, I want to thank my company CEO, Mr. Balwant Singh Rathur. He was supposed to attend, but due to some emergencies, he sent me. And just I want to, I don't want to take much of the time, but at the same time I want to emphasize, एक country का earlier situation में if we want to destroy any country, what we will do? Most of the people what they used to do, just education system का they used to attack. Today if anyone want to destroy the anyone economy or growth of the country, ज़्यादा कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं, just simply put the blame on the mining and natural resource company का ऊपर कुछ बोल के automatically the industry's growth definitely it will goes down. So this is most of the people they are doing because हम लोग हमारा सोसाइटी बचपन से हम लोग ऐसा सुन के आ रहा है गलत चीज. Most of the people गलत सुनना, देखना, फिर सोचना, फिर बोलना दूसरा लोगों को. तो ये इसका वजह से the industry is shown as इतना negative in the except I think most of the people from the mining, other than mining people, everybody used to tell mining is destroying the nature. Where if you are look at the statistics, the every year more than 5 million hectare of forest land is destroying. Out of that, 25 to 30% it is due to cattle farming. Remaining almost 50% of the forest land is destroyed due to agricultural farming. Remaining lacking of this rubber product and papers product के लिए वो 15 to 20%. Remaining all other industries contributing only 5%. उसका अंदर mining है. तो हम लोग देखेगा तो इंडिया में total geographical area में only 0.3% of the land is utilized for mining. Out of which we are contributing proudly, we can say that 2.5% of the GDP of the India. No other industry with this kind of very small land use pattern में इतना contribution नहीं है. Second thing, I think A.T. Mishra sir is very keenly he has told. ये mining job, direct job, it is creating 10 indirect jobs. But that way of counting also, I think we have to do very systematic manner, because today for this organizing program also, so many drivers we have engaged and so many people they are serving today. Those people also they are indirectly benefited on this day. So if this kind of you are counting, I think more than 25 एक direct job के लिए more than 25 mining industry is generating. And second thing in Odisha, if you are talking, Odisha is like for India के लिए ये Australia है because of the natural rich resource. And I am very proud to stay and working in Odisha because the entire systematic development and natural resource and the way of our contribution. The District Mineral Foundation Fund, I think in the last year itself till date, in 8 districts in Odisha, they have contributed 22,000 crore. I think which is much more than most of the states' annual budget. So this kind of contribution once it comes to District Mineral Foundation Fund, that utilization is very, very less. I think this thing can be taken up to the government for more utilization so that more people will get benefited. Then the second point I would like to emphasize that I think the government has taken very key initiative step for increasing the mining list up to 50 years and actioning process. But इसमें क्या हो जाता है? I think most of the people you might be heard the golden duck का story, so I don't want to repeat. फिर वो डक से ज्यादा वो गोल्डन एक कराई करके उसको दलवार कट करके पूरा निकाल के देखेगा तो एक अंडा मिला है. Similar thing in today's scenario, if we are the most of the miners participating and they are getting big premium more than 100%, 90%. Once they have took the mines, it will become unavailable. Most of the industries, it is already they are trying to surrender the lease. I think government has to look how it can be go for in a sustainable manner. And third thing, regarding employment, I have already told. I think government has to give more opportunity for bringing all the non-organized small mining sectors into organized way, so that the employment generation, it will multifold, it will get increased. Thank you for the opportunities.
Thank you very much. I think you have just heard the first impression about what they wanted to speak to you on the responsible and sustainable mining. As they have been expressed in different, areas of excellence, areas of responsibility and sustainability on environment and social, and also on the economic sense. So, if you look at the mining, and in this, I tell you, when I started the talk, I thought about the responsible and responsible to the stakeholders. I think in this hall, you will find many of the responsible stakeholders sitting, whether it's a, what do you mean by we're a mines owner? I think people are here on the owning the mines. There are employees who really do the job for extraction purposes. There are community by which you operate them. There are in between also the ecosystem which helps you to transport or to get your resources. There are rules makers who are able to help you out this, whether it is the government or it is the central government, any other thing do that. And if you name it out, there are plenty of who have been a part and parcel of this value chain are a stakeholder, is a stakeholder. So keeping this in view, are you being responsible to each stakeholder's stake? So this is one point I wanted to express. I think I also look towards some of the questions from the audience, and after that what Manika is telling, that whatever the suggestion we derive from this this panel discussion can be summarized and also can be sent to the respective either state or central government for anything which can terms of policy wise, or in terms of anything suggestion which can be also accepted by the connected agencies. I think with this we can make the audience questions open. Time being a major constant, we will also accept a straightforward question, not a discussion on the questions. What do you want to know from any of our panelists or from me? Please tell your name, introduce yourself, and speak about on the topic of this responsible and sustainable mining.
You can raise your hands and then we will give you the mic to ask the question. Anyone who's having a question like to ask? तो मैं ही पूछ लेती हूँ. Okay.
Myself, Subram Sekhar Sahu. So I am from shipping department. So my question is, sir, so what is the main reason why foreign investors are not interested in the mining sectors? Is this the tax or anything else like regulations and all policy of the government? Because if they will invest, then definitely it will be very grateful to us, especially for Odisha, because this is the richest in the minerals, sir.
Can you just repeat the question? Your voice is a little bit cracking.
Okay. So my question is that why foreign investors are not interested in the mining? Yes.
Okay.
Is this the tax of or anything like policies? Because in our there is very difficult in the understand our policies in the mining.
Yeah, very right. Absolutely. I think that's again a question of you are right, absolutely, because if you look at our mining and if you look at the mining and etc. in other countries like Australia or US or Africa and all these countries, they invite a lot of FDIs or foreign investment, as you say, in the mining sectors. There are plenty of factors involved with, but some of the few factors I can cite it out. Number one is whenever big companies like big company like Glencore or BHP or Rio or Vale or all these things we'll talk about, think about the size and scale they do COP. Okay.
That's another factor where you look for our mining here, you find out most of they are fragmented. I mean, you still get, mining in 100, I'm talking about iron ore, I'm also talking about coal. You don't get a very huge mine for which you're open to, all the time to go, except very few. So there is one point. Second is, basically, depending on how much return you're going to get from the mining area. I mean, if you look at it, only when last few years, the mining has become more profitable. If you look at the history of last 4 decades or 5 decades of mining is as old as more than 100 years. The mining life become 15 to 100 years, whatever maybe. You find out in the entire life there is only a phase where we start making money. That's also one of the factors. Whenever the foreign direct investor comes, they also come with this security that how much money they are going to make it out of. Third, of course, the ecosystem with Indian government is now encouraging people to come and do that out. And about the things like that, they also want to participate along with a local partner to be a part of it, so that they can also code like this. So there are, I think we need to look up bringing FDI to this. There are plenty of factors by which I can think. These are the few. There are plenty others also. Thank you. Anybody can guess it, please.
So, to supplement to Mr. Mohanty's view, actually your question was very much pertinent, that why foreign investor is not coming to invest in mining. If you see, India is a nation, it's not a mining nation like Australia and Brazil, right? So there are decentralized mining cost structure. After auction regime, when we went to auction process, acquired the mine through auction process to bring transparency, but at the same time, it also went to garnering higher revenue, non-equitably distribution of the mineral properties. So because of this distorted cost structure, you see now there are existence of captive auction mines, non-captive auction mines, then there are captive non-auction mines and the standalone mine also in non-auction mines. So the cost structure ranges between 19.8 to more than 150%. So if any foreign investment, if they will come to our nation in India, because of this distorted cost structure, they will not able to sustain here in their business. If they will come with mining and manufacturing, then probably yes, somehow it can be sustainable. But at the present scenario, so far as only mining is concerned, yes, the answer is very simple. It is not at all sustainable because of this distorted cost structure.
Any question from anywhere, please? Yeah, yes.
I just would like to supplement to... Hello. Yeah, I just would like to supplement to his question. The another view is, if we look at the MMDR Act of 2015 amended and prior to that, there were a lot of multinationals were present in India who were engaged, because most of the larger group, giant mining groups, they believe in the exploration to be done by themselves, reserves to be established. So that was the main reason now why most of the foreign mining companies are not focusing at India, because our exploration policy is very, very poor now. We all are aware that prior to the till 2005%, whereas compared with the Australia is around 90%, Brazil, Canada are also in the more or less equivalent the percentage. But India is very poor. Just by seeing the geological map, we cannot interpret with the resource. There is a lot of India, but we cannot call it as a resources bank of India. There is a lot of difference between the reserves. Nowadays what happens is, most of the auctions are taking place based on the only resources. Where the resources are, when we prepare a mining plan, as a mining industry, that has been emphasized that minimum G1, G2 level the exploration has to be done. Whereas the government, what it is auctioning is based on the G3, G4 level. So exhausted resources. That's why you might have seen in the country, some of the mining leases are getting surrendered. So these are some of the issues where the exploration policy needs to be looked into favorably, so that the foreign investment can come back to the India from the point of mining.
Thank you. I think. Please. I think he. Then he. Rao sir, with your.
The topic was the sustainability discussing.
Can you just stand up and introduce and yourself? And Dr. Biswalia.
I'm Dr. S.K. Vishwar. I'm the CEO and MD of TGMRC Bhubaneswar. Because the topic was the...
So, be little bit take you are not able to hear. Please.
Okay. Now it is okay? Because the topic was the sustainability. The sustainability depends upon the economic sustainability or environmental sustainability or social sustainability. I will give some suggestions, not a questions, some suggestions. Because if you look after the economic sustainability, the whatever minerals we are doing mining, because normally what we do, based on the market, particular cut-off we make. Above that, we are utilizing for the industries. But many low and lean grade resources in different mines are available, which at present maybe economical viability or not, that it has to check up. But government of India or state government, they should take the interest how you to make the economical viability, providing the some incentive to the industries. Because if you take the whatever royalty, this thing, many industry, they are not taking care to utilize the lean and lower grade resources. If they utilized, automatically the amount of mining can be reduced. And it will give the better impact to the environment. And now also, whatever overburdens are there in the mines, there is also a lot of value addition you can do it. Like you can generate the sands or you can do the soil conditioner. That way, the government should encourage and give the incentive to the mines so that they can do it. And coming to the environmental aspect, now the morning section, lot of discussion was going on. The mechanized evacuation, either making the railway or pipeline transportation. And Odisha is one of the best example, the transporting the iron ores through pipeline. Though we have 2 pipeline, now many industry, they are going to put up the pipeline to transport. And next is the water is the another criteria for the industry. We should try to minimize the water consumption and recycling the water so that the water body should not be the problem of the locality. And recycling of the water, what I observe, those are particularly for the toxic like chromite mines. They should recycle 100% for their utilization so that it's not the surrounding environmental should not be toxic. And we have observed the mining activities going on, the locality, the people, they should be get the job, putting the training or some other way, so that the social responsibility we should take care. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think it was a fantastic suggestions. I will take one more question and then probably able to. Yeah. Mike, can you give it to him?
Hello, this is P.S. Das. I am representing Jagannath Steel and Power. For me, sustainability is the meeting the need of present without compromising the ability of future generations.
Closely.
With sustainability means meeting the need of the present without compromising the ability of the future generation to meet their own need. As on date, our iron ore reserve in India is around 18,000 million ton. And we are producing, as per data in the government side, it's where 246 million ton. So if reserve to production ratio will go by reserve to R2P ratio, then after 73 years, our mines will be exhausted. Now, what is our plan? What our future generation will do if we will exhaust our mining within 73 years?
Anybody can able to? Yeah, please.
Hello.
This is a very interesting question. In fact,
see the first, if you see the concept of sustainability, that concept of sustainability first came to the basically public space for discussion in our country during 2012 when Honorable Justice Patnaik first brought it through the Bratton Commission report, which basically talks about what directly you are sometime back quoting. But this is basically a very complex kind of situation. Yes, you are true. We are in a nation, maybe today 140 crore, okay. Now it's growing at an average rate of 1.3%, average of 0.8 and 2.3, minimum and maximum. So roughly if you make a back of the calculation, maybe in 2 generations, your demand, whatever be the demand, total mineral demand, it is going to be doubled. So with a finite resource, or maybe a finite reserve for that matter, can you really sustain sustainability? So people started using the word that sustainable mining itself is an oxymoron. Probably it is never possible. But it doesn't work that way. There are impacts of technology, there are impacts of substitution, there are impacts of recycling. Those will definitely take over this scenario. In the past, if you see how many times in the entire periodic table, you see that how many substitution has happened over a period of time from one mineral to the other based on the need of the people. There was zinc age, there was copper age, there was iron age, there might be a lithium age, something will come up. So this effect of substitution, effect of recycling, these are very, very important factor which basically will take over and will probably allow or ensure that sustainability to happen. And even new technology or new use of mineral or metals, that will also take over. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think thank you for participating well.
Just I would like to add, sir. Sir, regarding this question, I think necessity is the mother of innovation or invention. If we talk about iron ore depletion, China is having the technology to process 18% of iron ore grade. They are having the technology to process. Still, we are having the cutoff grade of 50 something like that.
See you. Where are you talking, bro?
We are not able to see you.
Are you talking from here? Please, okay. I'm looking for it. I just want to find it. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, yes. So I think in future there will be the new technology. So our future generation people will be much more smarter than we people. So we believe that one. So definitely the depletion will not going to make a big impact. At the same time, being a responsible citizen and really if we love our future generation as a consumer, we should reduce per capita consumption of mineral. As a consumer, everyone, if we take that stand, definitely we can increase the life of the mines. Thank you.
Thank you, Muthu Kumarji. Thank you very much for the wonderful audience.
Excuse me, sir. Can you please take one more question, if you don't mind? This side, hello.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir. This is Prashita. So, sir, as I heard, many foreign investors are not willing to indulge themselves in this mining sector. And also there are many sorts of Indian investors too, they are not willing to indulge themselves. So, what do you think? It's is this a personal perception or is there a lack of education in this field? That's the reason they are not willing to indulge themselves.
You are talking about the investment in the mining sector?
Yes, exactly.
I mean,
Not economically, but also mentally and physically.
Could you repeat again?
Yes, not economically investment, also physical and mental investment in this mining firm.
Not just economic.
I think the first question that you asked is the investment in the mining sector. It is happening now.
Yes.
I mean, with the sustainable one mining we are talking today, without investment it cannot sustain, whether it is a technology, whether it is environmental sustainability, or whether the social factors like community, etc. So investment is a must. I think that is happening for the operating mines and also the virgin mines which are going to get operated. But as such, showing an interest in the mining sector, I think as I have been told earlier, like inviting FDIs or as such from our Indian investor in investing in mines, I think it is a phase which are now taking place. Over a period of time, we will find more investment in the mines because, after all, the everybody knows there are the mining resources are exhaustible. I mean, it is almost going to exhaust. So more technology oriented and more environmental sustainable oriented, more digital oriented, more remote control oriented. People will be less involved and the interaction will be, physical interaction will be less. So investment is essentially will come in those areas. And of course, coming to new mines, new minerals, those exploration, as you go on investing more and more, the investment also will come more. And then today, if you look at the investment, look at the exploration part of it, you find mostly G3, G4. When you go to again higher level of explorations, you will find out there will be more investment coming up. These are all some of the general answer to this, but there could be a specific answer if you require any specific answer for a particular mining sector or mining segment.
Thank you, sir.
Sir,
So,
excuse me. Like, can you take one more question, please?
Yeah, I'll make a point and then I will
Okay,
give you.
okay.
Yeah. So there is an observation that nowadays we are seeing that lot of investors programs are happening in almost every state. So just now, last December, Invest Odisha, then Invest Uttar Pradesh, then Bombay. Almost every state is holding the investor programs, and there are a lot of MOUs are getting signed. But when we talk about the actual project execution or takeoff, despite of signing lakhs and crores of MOU, hardly one or two projects really, takes off. So what do you think, this is my question to Mohanty sir and other panelists also, would be happy to, contribute. What is the reason why projects are not taking off even after signing MOUs?
You want my answer?
Yes.
See, now when we speak of about the ease of business, with respect to the now, I would like to give some issues with the Karnataka. So, like in similar all other businesses, there will be a few hiccups will be there in the business, similar that is also there in the mining. But only the thing is, my observation is the hiccups in Karnataka mining is too much, even in spite of having the swallowing the lot of water, doing a neck exercise, breathing exercise, even we are not finding a proper relief at some extent. I just would like to mention in Karnataka, because of prior to in the last decade in the 2009-10, where there was a black label has been pasted on the Karnataka for the illegal mine. That was the only reason where it was not happening. It has been categorized into the A category, B category, C category, especially C category mining lease, which has been demarcated by the CEC, and the Supreme Court has given the order. All those leases has been cancelled and they have been rejected. So now they have been put for the auction. Supreme Court has made a wonderful judgment in 2015, 30th July 2015, and it has asked what are the modalities, how the auctions to be taken. And subsequent to that, the MMDR Act also has come in force, and Section 8B of the MMDR Act is very clear how the auction has to be taken place and what are the modalities. In spite of that, I don't know that neither the government of Karnataka or government of India is not in a position to decide on that matter. Still, once the auction has been taken place, there should not be any category of A or B or C, because it's a new area now. It's going to be an auction area. It has to be similar with all the areas which are being auctioned in the either lapsed leases or expired leases, whatever it may be. In the case of Karnataka, this is a fake, in spite of the industry, mining industry repeatedly sing the song C category will not survive, will not bring the sustainability in the mining. And there is no question of going for the signing the MDPA at all. The Supreme Court says we have to, the government has to give all the permissions within 18 months from the date of auction. Now it's more than 7 years. So none of the C category mining leases, except a few, has been not come in the practice of the signing the MDPA. This is the reason where we are all facing the problem. The day-to-day, desk to desk, even desperately, even the mining industry moves also. It reminds me like there was a TV serial which is called as Musaddilal, Office to Office. We go there we go and explain, sir, it is nothing to do with the C category. Again, their questions will be, okay, their interpretation will be different. They think that still it is a illegal mining. Even after winning the mining leases at high bid also, the government is not looking into a prosperity that it has to be implemented in 18 months as per the directions of the Supreme Court, where we are finding the difficulties. I think this is why the MDPs are not getting signed, mining leases are not being executed, and the practicality of mining operations is not able to do it in meeting with the country's demand.
This is the Karnataka point or in general everyone?
Like this is, whereas the illegal mining has comes to the only Karnataka. If you speak about the, in general for the India also, so there the matter arises with the, suppose for example, with the forest clearances. The Parivesh portal, whatever the Parivesh portal has been made, this has been made to bring the transparency, implementation of the business very fast, give the forest clearances very fast. But you will believe, when we go to the ATM, after removing the cash, there will be a message will come, do you want to take a print? There will be underlined, there will be a red label will be there. If you take one print, you will be cutting one tree. You will be surprised to know that in spite of Parivesh is on online, once the application is accepted, we the mining industry has to submit the application in hard copies in 5 sets. And one set would be not less than 5 kilo. Minimum 15 kilos. Who are the custodian of the trees, they are cutting the trees, not the mining industry. And I am surprised to express here also, once the application has been accepted, the EDS should not be raised. If it is an EDS, it has to be raised immediately and the reply will be given. Even I think we had in the several forums also we have discussed, it is the problem, even Mr. Ramanathan also has expressed on this matter. To process one forest clearance application, he started his career as a manager, and when he has become the vice president, it has taken nearly 15 to 20 years in getting one forest clearance. Now since last 7 years, we are facing the issues. Our last final point I would like to touch here is, finally it goes to the MOF New Delhi. MOF New Delhi, by chance nahi hai, 100% they will raise the query. Once if they raise the query, to come back from Delhi to the base office, back to the DCF office, it takes minimum 3 to 4 months. Because this Parivesh is not applicable. They are dependent upon the hard copy has to come to the DCF. If that is the case, why you are putting the Parivesh? Forget about the Parivesh. Earlier, let it move in a hard copy. Or if you are putting the hard copy, then what is the need of the Parivesh? And one EDS raised, to go back, it takes 1 year. The 5 times if they raise means 5 years. Per year, one EDS is being raised. It should not be. Suppose, what we do normally, if it is a group, what will we do normally? If any doubt I have a Monica, I will write the mail to the Monica and mark the copy to the others. Here it doesn't happen. The bureaucracy, they have to follow their protocol system. The filing will come from the MOF DG to the state chief secretary. He will send it to the principal secretary. He will send it to the PCCF. PCCF will send it to the DCF. DCF will send it to the RFO. If RFO is the deciding authority, send it to him. Mark the copy to him. Let him write it. Let him make a reply. Why you are making our life miserable here? And over and above, if I do not comply with the 18 months of time as per the Supreme Court in Karnataka, or with the section BE, now they have amended, okay, till the life of the mine. If earlier there was a time period of 2 years. If I do not comply in the 2 years, there will be a minimum dispatch penalty will be there on the miner.
Yeah.
How relevant all these things are?
So Desai
Thank you.
sir, next
Thank you.
in the follow-up panel discussion, we will take up more questions.
Yeah.
Same subject. Okay, we will take up more questions.
Thank you. Thank you very
And
much.
we will conclude the
Yeah, I
session.
think that's what time was. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Correct.
I think her question still remains unanswered because her question was basically a general question, wherever the investment decisions are made and implementation success rate are less. So you can always ask in the next session. Anyway, first of all, thank you very much for giving this opportunity to all my panelists to me. But just before I conclude, I just have a few things that I wanted to say in this session. First of all, as I said, responsible and sustainable mining is not the first time we are discussing any of the panel discussion or to that extent, it is every year we are discussing when mining topics are discussed. But if you ask me, I am already now, my 45 years I completed in steel and metal and mining sectors. But I've seen the evolution of the mining right from when I joined and also right now when I am here talking to you. So there are plenty of things that have happened like that. There are corporate mining in India operating very, very successfully, I can tell you this. And also there are small mines which are also still operating very successfully. There are maybe plenty of things which need to be done, both in policy-wise and process-wise, but MMDR was absolutely a game changer. Probably illegal mining is a thing of the past. I mean, as in today, when you see like this. So many of the issues which still are not addressed in terms of the environmental issues, which still we believe a type of a regulation or compliance measure. But I think there are many responsible miners available here. I can tell you, they do it by themselves in terms of they are auditing its system itself. There is also they call it a GRI. What do you call it? The reporting system. That means all your the environmental and other issues you have to go on reporting, and that's as a part of the system. Another also I was discussing with Pankaj. There is a responsible mining index. It's a Swiss based index where are you doing a mining responsibly? There are many factors. I mean, who are the factor number one? Basically, whether all stakeholders, including whether the economy wise you are sustainable, whether environmentally you are sustainable, whether workers are their comforts are sustainable, whether ease of doing business is also sustainable. Like that, many factors they have called out, and also sub factors where they go on indication, and you find out a gradient where you have got this rank, and this is the opportunity you can develop. And there is an average of an world class mining facilities. In fact, in India also we have the factors. In panel we have got also all our file for mining owners. We have you operating the Tata, you operating the JSPL, JSW, NMDC, OMC, SAIL. I mean, these are all have been operating mines for a long time. And over a period of time, I have seen the changes. There are plenty of changes taken place in this direction only. Now you are coming with technology, huge development in technology taking place. But all said and done, and as you are talking responsibility, still a lot to be done. And this is one of the reasons that we can, even if we discuss over a period of full day, we have still a lot of suggestions still will be left. So with these words, I must thank everybody and every audience for participating in it. And I must congratulate Monica and her team for choosing the right, timely and very relevant topic where you are discussing on this issue, and especially in Odisha. With these words, I thank you very much, and all my panelists who have contributed this. Thank you very much, and thank you audience.
Thank you, Session Chair, for conducting this session. Thank you, Monica, for moderating it. We also thank all our eminent panelists for part of this panel. We also thank all of you. It was a very participative session, and due to paucity of time, we are concluding it. Otherwise, I thought the discussion could go on for the entire day. As a token of our gratitude, we would like to present mementos to our panel. May I request Monica to kindly present memento to our Session Chair, Mr. S.S. Mohanty, CEO and MD, SR Minmet Limited. Thank you for your time and valuable knowledge that you shared. To Mr. Partho Banerjee, Director in Fermento Group. Thank you for your contribution. Mr. Ajit Kumar Patra, AVP Mines Barbel JSPL. Thank you for being the panelist. Mr. H.Y. Desai, Vice President Corporate Affairs, MSPL Limited. Thank you, Mr. Desai. And Mr. Muthumari M., Business Head Mining Division, Ferro Alloys Corporation Limited, subsidiary of Vedanta Limited. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, after the group off, we would request all of you to kindly join us for lunch. And may I request all of you to kindly be back in half an hour, that is 2:15 to start our session. We are running slightly behind our schedule. So if I can request all of you to kindly be seated by 2:15 so that we can start our session at 2:15. Enjoy your lunch and see you all back in half an hour at 2:15. Thank you.
Don't forget to like, subscribe and share the videos.